Geek Week in Review, episode 46. We are talking Marvel, Star Wars, and even a little bit of dinosaurs. So stay tuned.
The Geek Week in Review.
Hello and welcome back to the Geek Week in Review with me, Jacob's Toys, of course, the wonderful one and only SuperSorrell, and the amazing, incredible Ryan Speaks Geek. No, I'm only joking. We're trying to give you a build up. We're trying to.
No, wait, sorry. What, you're only joking. I'm amazing and incredible. That might be more hurtful than you never mentioning anything before my name.
I gave you too much. I went too hard.
Cool. Start from the bottom and stayed there. Jesus.
If you are watching on YouTube, then please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. Check the description below for the guys' details and give them a follow if you don't already do so. If you're listening on podcast, then please continue to download, share, and all of those things. We do appreciate our podcast listeners. And if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can catch the Geek Week in Review over there as well.
Do you know what you should do for Ryan? Ryan's intro should be, and he's always ready to speak geek, is Ryan.
I really thought you were going to go something for, and the relentless Ryan Speaks Geek. Alliteration seems to be the key here, but I'm happy with the relentlessly never not signing on Ryan.
And he's still here from episode 12, Ryan Speaks Geek.
Yeah.
He won't take the hints and leave. It's Ryan.
It's,
do you know what I've heard? One of the best things to do, though, if you invite a guest on that you can't get rid of, that's your friend, the best thing is to do that again. And I hear that just happens like all the time.
It is. And that's a great segue, Ryan. That is an amazing segue. That we're going to introduce our guest this week. We are throwing it. We are pulling the guests left, right, and center at the moment. But the guest this week is a good friend of mine and Ryan's. It's our good friend, John Maybe from Scripts and Scratches. How are you, John? All right?
Very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We need to do this formality as if like we don't speak normally anyway. But you know, hey, welcome to the show.
I haven't spoken to you in 11 years.
Don't be silly. We had coffee the other day.
I know we did.
Anyway, John is here. As you can probably tell from John's background, John's a big retro toys collector. And as you can probably tell from his handle as well, he does a podcast. Tell us a little bit about your podcast, quick, John, while we're introducing you.
So I'm a big collector of vinyl, love all things vinyl, and I also run do a podcast all about forgotten 80s music, and we do that on Mixcloud because we've got a blanket music license, so we actually play the tunes as well. So it's a bit like a radio show. We don't just sit there having a chat; we play the tracks as well.
Awesome. And as I said, big collector of retro toys and all things retro. So. You fit in with all things geek. So we're going to talk about a couple of things this week that might go over your head a little bit because you don't follow them. But then we're going to get into the retro speak a little bit later in the show. You know what?
Give John a magazine.
Let's yeah. I'm going to go back and reintroduce you later on. No, I'm only joking. Let's just jump in. Let's John's doing his homework. He's they're going to talk action figures. I need to read about them. Let's talk MoonKnight. MoonKnight episode 5. We saw the penultimate episode of MoonKnight this week, and it was a hard episode. Like it was heavy.
Yeah, and what's really good is that I still don't know what's going on. Like 5 episodes in, it's literally finishing next episode, and I still have not got a freaking clue what's going on. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying not knowing what the hell's going on for a change. It's not so formulaic. And I go, oh, this is clearly what's going to happen this week. I have got no idea, but it's great.
The thing that makes it different as well than a lot of the other Marvel like television shows is that a lot of them are tied into other properties. So things like Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, for example. You know that they're tied in with other properties and that there's a continuation of the story somewhere. But MoonKnight so far has got no links anywhere else. So yeah, I have no idea where it's going to go. I thought it was a brilliant episode, though. I really did. I thought it was a really powerful episode and quite a lot of sensitive topics touched on as well.
Very sensitive.
It's amazing that an episode that was so hard-hitting, heavy, that tackled loads of real-life issues that things and people's people have experienced in their childhood lives, but also heavily featured a talking hippo. So I just kind of feel like it's a really weird balance, this program, because it's like 1 minute it's like there's like lots of very deep traumatic issues, and then we're back to the talking hippo on the boat taking you to death, with the scales and the sand souls are coming up and trying to do you know what I mean, swings and roundabouts.
It's
like Shakespeare and Spice Girls. Just whack them together, see what happens.
Am I the only one that can't stop watching Oscar Isaacs on that American TV show?
Hippopotamus. Yeah, have you seen this, Ryan?
No, so that made as much sense as MoonKnight to me just then.
So it was on, I think it was Jimmy Fallon or something. No, it's not. It's the other one, isn't it?
It's one of the late night shows, and he's basically singing like a 30-second song about hippopotamuses being like dangerous creatures, and obviously people are just cutting it and pasting it over reels and TikTok and all that kind of stuff, just because it's
that would be the funny too, right? He did that song. How cool would it be if in the next episode we found out that stupid hippo is the villain of this whole thing? And he's been singing that song on the internet going, hippopotamus, dangerous creatures, like, and that's
it was the villain. Hippo all along.
Yeah, basically, that's his version of that, isn't it?
Well, the funny thing is,
iconic.
You say about a villain, but they haven't really indicated who, like, I know we got Arthur Harrow and all that kind of stuff, but
he's a puppet, though. He's not the villain. He's a puppet of the villain. But
yeah, I just think it's going to be a heavy. And interestingly enough, as well, the final episode has only got a runtime of like 45 minutes. It's not an extended episode or anything like that. So what they're going to do, it's got to start. I think it's going to end on a bit of a cliffhanger. I really do. I think it's going to be.
Final episode goes out Wednesday, and what comes out Thursday, Friday? Doctor Strange.
That is true. There is that. I am looking forward to seeing it on Thursday. In 3D, no less.
I'm going Thursday. No, 2D for me. I can't do it in 3D.
Do you know what? 3D is one of those things where, like, certain films it really works. Some films it's pointless. Like, if I went to go see, I don't know, like Jojo Rabbit, for example, don't need to see that in 3D. Operation Mincemeat, don't need to see that in 3D. But when I saw, like, Passengers, the one with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence and the other Doctor Strange, the original Doctor Strange film, that's what 3D was made for, because it was actually really sort of immersive, mind-blowing, that the field of depth, because of the sort of the traversing through different planes of existence stuff, it really worked. It was really mind-blowing. So when I found out this was coming out in 3D, ironically, as I literally just put one of my last pairs of 3D glasses laying around in the recycling, so I thought, never going to need these again. And now probably Avatar's going to be 3D again. I actually was really excited, because I think this is one of those films that is going to really lend itself to it. I'll probably go and see it again in 2D for comparison, but I know, because me and John have seen a few 3D films together, and I think it melts your brain, doesn't it, a bit?
They just give me a headache. They make me feel. I mean, I'm a glasses wearer, and it's just irritating, and I come out of there with a massive migraine, and I can't sleep.
And that's John.
Yeah. No, you say that. It's quite funny, because you talk about redundant films in 3D. I saw the A-Team movie in 3D. Do you remember the one with the one with Bradley Cooper,
where they flew a tank?
Yeah, in 2010, I think 3D had its sort of resurgence, and it was like everything 3D, Gone with the Wind 3D. You know, and you just go, no, there's no need for this at all. You know, 3D should be reserved for theme parks, and that's your lot.
I'm sure I saw Titanic in 3D. I'm sure I did.
Yeah, they did release it in 3D.
I'm sure I did. Only for that drawing scene where he's painting. I mean, that was the... Whoa! But no, I'm sure I saw Titanic in 3D, which is a really.
I've got the Blu-ray of it, the special edition of Titanic, and it does come with the 3D version of it. Which
then I definitely did.
There's no need.
Did.
Wow, look at the size of that iceberg.
You want to talk about redundant cinema? 4DX at Cineworld is the most redundant thing on the planet. Basically,
4DX.
Well, you know, like when you go to American like theme parks and you sort of bounce around on your seat for 10 minutes, there's some video footage, you get water sprayed at you. It's kind of like that, but when you're watching the remake of the Predator movie, you really don't need to be bouncing every time the Predator jumps. And for a whole 90 minutes of every time he growls, I get a bit of water sprayed at me to make sure I'm still awake. And it just bounces you around a bit more. It's like, this is so unnecessary.
That's mad.
I should have saved that for something like Spider-Man, surely, when you can sort of swing with Spider-Man. I thought that would have been a cool
That's
effect,
motion sickness in making, isn't it, really?
Well,
swing with Spider-Man.
So was Predator. The entire film, you sat there bouncing. You're like, this is pointless.
Fast and the Furious in it, and you could just feel the ego of Vin Diesel. They somehow project ego into the audience.
Just,
and
what's
family.
What's that smell? It's
family.
It's family.
That's what the smell is.
Interestingly, though, actually, before we go into Doctor Strange, have you heard that the director from Fast and Furious has pulled out? Like, he's dropped off the of Fast X, isn't it? It's called.
Which makes you wonder what the hell was in that script that made him go, nope, too far.
Yeah, because they went into space last time.
Time travel. It's got to be time travel, isn't it? It's space, then time travel.
Gotta be.
Yeah. Or clones or something. It would be like them racing themselves.
I'm Tom Dorado. Oh my God.
You gotta drift at 75 miles an hour, kid. It's for the family.
I always wanted a brother. It's real family. But no, the director from Fast X has pulled out, and interestingly, he directed all but like 3 of the other films. So that's a real big move for a franchise that's kind of all about family, but people don't want to be involved anymore. Anyway, but Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange comes out. We're all going to go and see it on Thursday. Am I right in thinking it comes out in America on the Friday?
Friday, so we get 24 hours with it.
Yeah, so got to go and see it on the Thursday if you want to avoid spoilers, because as soon as it gets out, spoilers going to be everywhere. But interestingly, they released another teaser, like a TV spot and another teaser trailer, which gave away quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely zero need for it. The huge hype for it, and you go, I know what I'll do. I'll just try and spoil some prizes just before people go and see it. You didn't need to drum up any more hype. It's like one of the most hyped films of the year.
See, I've thought about this, and I think they did it for a different reason. And there's a couple of spoilers ahead. If anyone hasn't seen these trailers, then just be aware that we're going to talk about them now. But I think it's for another reason, because the things that they did show in the trailer, so the Captain Carter reference, the Professor X reference, the Illuminati reference, these are all things that people were speculating because of the last trailer, and people have been talking about since. So I think they just dripped enough in to make people go, what you've been talking about is right. And here's a little tease.
We just need to see Nick Cage return as Ghost Rider to just do some flame piss again that he did, like in Spirit of Vengeance, and then just walk out, and then nothing, no words spoken, just that.
No, as an after credits.
Gripes. Sorry, I've got gripes with Doctor Strange. Real gripes with Doctor Strange.
Personally, or
yeah.
Worst position.
You went for him about a headache, and you didn't prescribe anything.
Wrong dimensional medicine.
Right. What kind of message is he sending out to our children? He was texting whilst driving, has a car crash, wakes up with superpowers.
Well, he didn't wake up with
That's not on.
Yeah. I don't know.
Same with that Bruce Banner. I mean, like, I was sitting there, and the amount of kids I'm now seeing sitting there trying to smoke gamma radiation, cigarettes, just trying to get Hulk powers. It's irresponsible.
You don't realize how many spiders I've made bite me in an attempt. It's just made me really, really ill. It's just really ill.
All that's helped is he's got one arm longer than the other now. That's all it's done.
Texting while driving is something that should not be mocked, kids.
No. I get it. But they had to make it sort of. I don't know. I'm not even going to get into the political debate of the morality of Doctor Strange, but it is a massive film, and I would just like to see Nick Cage show up as an after credit scene, just doing the flame bits. No reference to anything else, or even just him in the corner of the room.
Here, man. And then he just turns to the camera and says, "I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence," and then that's the end of it. And it's actually the cliffhanger for National Treasure 3.
I really do hope that he shows up, though. I hope that the older characters, like more legacy characters, do show up.
If they're able to already show us Captain Carter confirmed and Xavier confirmed, if they're already able to do that to us, what the hell is in this film to show that to make us go, oh my God, there's more? What else is in that film? Just sat there.
I just think basically anything's on the table that's ever been Marvel ever made, and I think it's just like now. I don't even know if I'll be surprised. I think I will be almost overwhelmed with probably just. My only concern is this is just going to be like one of those cameo fests. That it's like the story's going to suffer because they're just going to try and get as many cameos in as possible, and there's not going to be much actual character stuff from Doctor Strange.
From what I've seen from the trailer and the interviews, it's more about the variants of Doctor Strange, the variants of Scarlet Witch that they're fighting. They're fighting themselves basically. which should be interesting. Like all the different versions of Scarlet Witch. There's like, who could be? Is it just going to be her doing different versions, or are there going to be other actors playing them and stuff? That could be quite interesting.
Yeah,
they get to cameo in that respect.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just very excited for it. I'm very excited for it. It's
first... cool to think by next show though we would have seen it. So we're talking about potentially stuff in it, or we'll have to do like a spoiler alert bit.
Are we saying that we're not doing a Doctor Strange special on Friday? Are we not doing that then?
Maybe
we normally do for a Marvel movie release, don't we?
We might have
normally
to.
Go in.
We could do a cheeky little one.
Depends how good it is. If it's really rubbish, then we'll just be like, no. Just So on the subject of Marvel, Marvel Legends released a Legacy line this week as well, which I don't know really where I sit on this, because I don't understand why Black Panther is Legacy just yet.
Yeah, so let's just to go back a bit, just to give people a bit of context who aren't aware, because most people still think that Legacy line is something that is just Marvel Legends and it's the equivalent of the Archive line for Star Wars, and it's totally not. It looked that way to begin with, but when we did a bit more digging, and Marvel.com's got a whole thing up about it, the Legacy line is actually all Hasbro wide product. So basically, they're starting with Black Panther, but nothing's off the table from the last 10 years of films, because of it's on the back of the success of the Infinity Saga line that they did. So they're now doing the Legacy collection so that they can basically bang out more old products and stick new packaging on it by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Similar to the Transformers Legacy packaging as well, by the way. Did anyone notice that?
Yeah. I just don't understand why they started with Black Panther, because Black Panther's movie isn't about to come out. Like Black Panther 2 is not about to come out. And it only came out in 2018, the film. So the product came with it came out in 2017, 2018.
One of us is going to have to say it, aren't we?
I know. Obviously, there's a lot of time.
I don't want to be the one who says it.
No, but obviously Chadwick Boseman passing and stuff. And it's, there's a lot that holds dear to that film for a lot of people. But I think that what I've seen on the internet is a lot of people basically like not abusing Hasbro, but kind of going, oh, you're just milking the fact that, this guy died or that kind of stuff. And I just think that they could have, it does feel that way. And I think they could have started with another line. I mean, for example, 2018, that was phase 3 for Marvel, which Black Panther was in. But in that phase as well, you had Thor Ragnarok. Well, you could have done a Legacy line for Thor Ragnarok, considering the new Thor's about to come out. Captain Marvel, don't see anybody asking for those products to be re-released, do they? That's a wave that's still peg warming now.
Where's my Edward Norton Hulk figures? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp was in phase 3. Homecoming was in phase 3. And I just think they could have put a Legacy sticker on that Ned and Peter 2-pack, because that's from Homecoming, but they didn't. So I just think that I don't know.
The official sort of release from Hasbro sort of states that the new Legacy line is designed to give fans the chance to commemorate and celebrate the impact of Black Panther and what it did for cinema history, and get ready for the upcoming release of the Wakanda Forever movie. So I'm wondering whether they're not going to release any further merchandise for Wakanda Forever. I wonder whether this is going to be like, this is your Black Panther merch again, because it's the same characters. They can't release this line and then go, oh, by the way, we're going to release them again in 6 months. So I wonder whether this is going to be a Black Panther drop, and then we won't see anything for the next movie.
Oh, is that out this year?
There's going to be. I think it's next year now.
But
there's going to be new characters. There's going to be new costumes. Like there'll be something to go for that film. But I don't know. I just think that it's.
So we're getting all the legends again. Then we're getting all the 5-inch figures again. Those little the kids ones.
Yeah.
You're getting all them again. I remember when they came out, because everyone was getting it for Shuri, weren't they? Because we didn't have a Shuri back then, so everyone was buying it for Shuri. And they're releasing the mask again, the Black Panther mask with the eye thing that flips up and down. But it's the exact same stuff, just with a new purple packaging. But it's exactly the same.
I just, for collectors, when it comes to the legend stuff, for collectors, I'm really pleased, because there are a lot of collectors out there that don't have any Black Panther figures in their collection, because the film came out in 2018 and they've been collected since that. So I am pleased, and I think I put it on one of my Instagram posts, is that it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because those figures for me were I was pleased to have them. I wasn't going to sell them, but they meant something, you know what I mean? Because I had them. And now that they've basically just re-released all of them, even to the extent where the Builder figure that was really hard to get hold of. The M'Baku. I can never say it properly. M'Baku builder figure was really hard to put together.
It's really hard to say as well.
It is really hard to say. But yeah, it was really hard to put together. And now they're releasing that. Fair enough, it's an exclusive to Toy Somewhere or other, but it's like $25. And I'm just like, that's a real kick in the teeth. Like, you could have done it without putting him in the legacy line, because that's kind of going, you know, all that kind of hunting and shopping and swapping and selling that you did back in 2018. Well, none of that matters anymore. So we're just going to re-release them. But I am pleased that for a lot of collectors that they can get those now. But I don't know. It's happening.
But don't worry, because more things will be coming this summer in the legacy line. So it's not just this state. It's going to be a larger line. You know, and this is going to be a way that they're going to release all product under new license, basically.
Which I am pleased about, because, you know, it's the Infinity Saga line was fantastic, but most of those were new figures and they were filling in gaps and stuff.
The thing is, I think my Smith store still have Black Panther masks on the shelf from the original film release. Yeah. They've never sold, and it's like they're gonna. I get it. I get it if it was just the Legends, a bit like the archive line. If it was just that, that's cool, fair enough. But when they're doing this whole "we're going to release everything" kind of mentality, they're going to peg warm to hell, and then that's going to clog up stores again, and cause like Smith and that to go, well, maybe Marvel isn't selling for us anymore.
Does anyone just thought maybe they are just the ones left over? They're just putting it in a different box.
Probably.
Yeah. There was one.
It's not me even remaking it. It's just putting it.
Stop landfill.
You know what? Everything I've said is irrelevant, because I'm just bitter, because there was one product that came out for Black Panther that I didn't have that now has a really high price tag to it that I want to get, and that's a 12-inch version of the figure. And it was based on the thing to go with my 12-inch figures. And as soon as I saw them releasing it, I was like, brilliant, they're going to re-release that. Nope. no sign of that. It seems to be the only product that they went, yeah, we'll release everything, but that one, forget about it. So I was just a little bit bitter. But no, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's you know, new figures is new figures, or new versions of old figures. Like,
I do agree with you. I know why they're doing this one first, but I would have preferred them to go back a bit further. I would have liked to have seen maybe Age of Ultron and get some reworking.
Yeah. Or even just a mix. Even just a mix
wave.
If they had done like, you know what, here's a mix of figures that you guys have, you know, put a Maria Hill in there, put a Black Panther in there, put like a Hawkeye from Civil War or something, just like re-release like a whole bunch of figures from the past 15 years, whatever it is now, instead of just one particular type. But hey ho, it is what it is. But I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes out in the summer. Speaking of Marvel Legends as well, Rhino and Jigsaw have both started to land over here, and the guys over in the States are getting a bit annoyed because they're Target and Walmart exclusives, I think, and we're starting to get them already. Which
they're getting annoyed. Oh no.
Yeah. I just, every time I talk to one of my American mates over about figures and stuff, I'm like, listen, 4 years ago, I couldn't get things like without paying higher prices and stuff. So the fact that I'm now getting stuff before you is just a bonus.
Plus the import tax we do have to pay if we do get anything from America is ridiculous now. It's really ruined my eBaying.
The thing is, with it, the only reason we are getting them first is because they are exclusives. If they weren't exclusive, we wouldn't have seen them for at least another 4 months. So I mean, it's swings and roundabouts. We do get the exclusives. The harder to find ones in America, we do get those pretty easily over here, and we can get them pretty well. But when it comes to regular lines, we still last on the pecking order to get them.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend that we get everything straight away, because we don't. Things take forever to come these days.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But the exclusives we're getting pretty well nowadays, aren't we? They do arrive pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's because we don't have the stores. We don't have Target, so
no, and it's not an equivalent, is there? Not an equivalent. Thor Love and Thunder. Any thoughts on Thor Love and Thunder? You must have thoughts on that one, John, because that's like an 80s soundtrack, like through and through. Like, you must be a fan of Thor. John's just like, nah, mate, I'm just here.
Did we not talk about Thor Love and Thunder last week? Or something new happened with Thor Love and Thunder?
Yeah, the figures came out.
Oh, the figure line, yeah,
the figures.
I feel like everyone's already seen them.
About to say, we talked about them a week ago.
No, but I want to say one thing on the matter, right? Now, everyone's kicking off about the Gore figure.
Thought it'd be so fun if his mic just cut then. I want to say one thing and he's just sitting there going,
I want to say, No, but I want to say one thing on it, right? So the Gore, the God Butcher figure, everyone was kicking off. Oh, he looks rubbish, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. It's Christian Bale to start with. You know, it's going to be good. It's going to be portrayed well. Now, the figure came out and it comes with the all black, like the Necrosword. And they released a new image for the film. And it shows like the version of Gore that we've got in figure form holding the Necrosword with Jane Foster and Thor. And oh, surprise, surprise, he's got like tendrils coming out from behind him, like symbiote tendrils. And everyone's acting like they're massively surprised. But that sword was like forged by like Null. And it's like a living symbiote sword. It gives the wielder like the power to grow wings and like, you know.
I really thought
symbiote.
you said 10 drills, and I had in my head that he had 10 like giant. I was going very Thunderbirds with it, like, you know, like mole things like coming out of the back. It's kind of like,
just coming out there.
and then I worked out you meant tendrils, as in like the
Tendrils.
one word. Yeah. Okay.
But so everyone's like well surprised, and I'm like, no, like the figure showed us this sword, so we know that the character's got this sword, so he's going to be an awesome bad guy. Mark my words, he is going to be a really good bad guy. That's all I wanted to say on it, just because that poster came out like yesterday or the day before. So let's talk Star Wars. Star Wars, the big topic. Let's be honest, we are in May now. We are now in.
We are in May. We are just a few short days
It's
away
gonna
from
be
May the
May.
4th.
Woo. Yeah.
Which
Sacred
I now
holiday for Star Wars nerds, and
Which
a
I
big
now-
slow sigh from John, maybe.
I am so far behind with the Star Wars world. I haven't watched any of The Mandalorian. I haven't watched any of that other one that everyone's been going on about. You know, I'm like, there's been 9 films and we're done. That's me and Star Wars, really. I'm the worst guest you've ever had. Right? Purely because, or am I the best?
Cut him off, take him off, cut the camera, cut the feed.
It looked like he just got caught.
Trying to be the
Your camera's got all weird, John. It actually looks like you've just censored yourself. That's brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
He's frozen. Look at that face.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
back.
You're back.
No, like I feel like there's too many universes going on, and there's too many cash grabs, and there's too much, you know, and it just oversaturates the market. And I think Star Wars, 3 beautiful films between 77 and 83, some not particularly great.
I thought you meant the more recent ones.
No.
3 beautiful films.
No, and then the later stuff I really enjoyed. You know, and Rogue One I thought was superb. You know, I think every Star Wars film's been pretty solid in the last 10 years or so. But I do feel as though all these sort of Netflix, not Netflix, Disney Plus TV series and everything, it all just feels so corporate. It feels so corporate. It feels so oversaturated. That's just my opinion. But you know, and it just, I don't know. It's like everyone going, have you watched Breaking Bad? You need to watch Breaking Bad. Have you not seen Breaking Bad? Breaking Bad's brilliant. And if people keep doing that, I'm going to go, nah, I'm not interested then. Because I will not be told what to do. Basically.
Fair play.
I've got to respectfully disagree on the Star Wars one though, because it's just like, now that the ability to be making TV shows is finally there after like, because, you know, this has been basically like all the expansion of the TV shows, all the books surrounding and stuff like that. You know, and you could say the same about like Doctor Who. He could have ended, you know, many times, and you could just not keep regenerating and keep going. But you think about the sheer time it's gone on, and they move on to obviously the animated movies based on lost episodes, the radio dramas, books, the toys. Should it just be left alone? A lot of people said it hasn't been good since a certain time. You know, people saying it should never have been brought back. You know, people saying it should have left after David Tennant or Matt Smith. You know, there's always an argument for anything. I think that's got like such a diehard fan base and has a particularly strong starting point to be sort of oversaturation. But I guess the difference is just like where this started off as a film franchise and is now moving actually more towards TV, because, you know, a film hasn't come out since Rise of Skywalker and they've not really made much of an effort. I mean, they've announced a few, but that's about as far as it's got. It does seem that they've moved more onto a TV show format.
I've got no qualms with merchandising. Merchandising is not an issue in the slightest. I think merchandising is fine. That's great for everybody. You know, books, CDs, audio dramas, toys, whatever. But I think channels of different universes, that's where I start having issues. And it's sort of you know, oh, do you remember that lamp that was in Return of the Jedi? Yeah, okay, well, we're going to make a 3-part miniseries of that and 8 films.
Oh,
And
God, I hate that argument. That's like what Mark Commode says, isn't
here
it?
we go.
Like, about
Here we
Solo.
go.
But
Counter argument though, right? So Star Wars as the movies, I watched them, I enjoyed them, and I put them to bed. I was kind of like, you know what, that's cool. I enjoyed that. Brilliant. Once I got the ability to stream things like the Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff like that, it pulled me back in like massively, and just opened up the universe. And I think that there are people that I know, like the younger generation and stuff, where their introduction to Star Wars isn't this old film that's out of date and that doesn't look good. It was an animated TV show. So, you know, and I think that the thing you got to appreciate is, yes, how amazing those original trilogy films are. When you sit down a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old to watch them, they lose interest quite quickly because they're used to the big CGI stuff. So they won't see it through all the time. There are exceptions to the rule, obviously, but for the majority, they'll sit down and they won't invest in it because they know it's going to be a good payoff at the end. They'll be like, this doesn't fit what we're used to, so therefore I'm not interested. Whereas they're introduced to things like the Disney Plus TV shows or the animated TV shows, and it opened up the universe. And then they're saying, well, who's this Luke Skywalker guy? I need to go and find out about him. And then they'll go and invest in the films. And
that still sounds like such a weird sentence. Who's this Luke Skywalker? Like, oh.
Yeah. But it is. It's like Luke Skywalker.
It's true though. My daughter's got, she's 7. You know, please forgive her, but she's got no idea who Luke Skywalker is. Ray is her hero. She knows Ray and Anakin. She doesn't know who Luke is.
Sorry, you were just that was so like. She said, "Please forgive her."
Please, insane.
Ryan has left the channel. I'm joking.
But like, she's not seen the original trilogy yet because of that exact thing. Because of how old it is, she'll lose interest in that in seconds. I know she will because it's too real. There's no animation there. There's no CGI, so she'll just lose interest so fast. Yeah. But yeah, to her, it's Ray and Anakin, her 2 heroes.
But I know die-hard Star Wars fans that probably know as much, if not more, than like grown men that have grown up with it that I know, because they were introduced to it through the newer stuff. So I think it does depend where you come into it and how you're introduced to it. But I do agree to the extent that there's oversaturated in some cases. Personally, I don't think we needed the Book of Boba Fett. I don't think it gave us a huge amount. I enjoyed it. I watched it. It kind of added to my, okay, this is the Star Wars universe, but I don't think we needed it.
We needed the Ewoks cartoon series. We needed that.
That is actually now going to be available on Disney Plus for streaming.
We needed it. We couldn't, and droids. We couldn't have gone anywhere in the world without droids. You know?
No, you know, without that, Stuart Copeland sort of opening. No, was it Stuart Copeland? No, wasn't it?
I'll tell you what then, before we go really deep on Star Wars and the stuff that we're predicting, while we're talking about kind of franchises that have come back, let's just talk about Jurassic World very quickly, because they dropped their final trailer for the final part of Jurassic World a couple of days ago, and it's been announced that this is the concluding chapter. So what started with Jurassic Park is now concluding in Jurassic World Dominion. Is that more to your liking? Is that kind of does that appease you, John?
Wow, like I love this some sort of god. I think that's wonderful that you hold me in godlike status. That's fine.
Are we okay to talk about that one?
No, look. No, I love what the recent Jurassic Parks have done. Jurassic Worlds, sorry. Because I think
I still call them Jurassic Park. I don't know why. It's always going to be Jurassic, because the age we are, it's always going to be Jurassic Park to us.
I think they've massively capitalized on the sort of pitfalls that the original 3 films had, which I think is lovely. I think they've got an excellent casting structure. Lots of people didn't like the last one. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good fun.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and
I've only got one bugbear with it, and you all know it because you've all heard me moan about the fact they didn't get a whole film of escaping Dino Fireball Island.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Other than I really enjoyed it.
And now, am I right in thinking? I only saw a sort of the teaser trailer that came out in the winter. So I haven't seen this new trailer. But is it the new film? Is all the dinosaurs are basically mixed in with us now? Is that right? Or have I got that wrong?
Pretty much. They're working at Starbucks and
There's a velociraptor like working at Curry's.
They're basically recreating the intro to the Flintstones. Is how the film starts. Right. Chris Pratt slides on the back. Yeah, well.
But no, it is. You're all right. They're basically they've run amok. They've bred. They've overpopulated, and they're just dinosaurs and humans are kind of living in this
they are found our way.
And then obviously the only way to rectify this global pandemic of dino world is to call in the original 3 people that were invited to the park and put them with our new characters, and then somehow they're going to Captain Planet it, and all their powers are going to come together, and they're going to be able to do something cool.
Jeff Goldblum the hell out of it.
But I thought it was really cool the way that they're bringing in what they class as like the legacy characters back to this, and they're kind of full circling it. And I thought that was really, I think that's really cool. I'm really excited for it.
They're putting the fate of the Earth in the hands of 2 archaeologists and a chaos physicist.
Chaos mathematician, if you will. It's chaos is what it is. It's chaos.
Life finds a way.
There's one big pile of shit.
Speaking of which, though, I've got to say this, though. I think it was actually you that shared it on Facebook earlier as well, John. Nothing, right, has brought in cameos like Neighbours. Let's be honest.
And I am so happy about that.
Have you heard about this, gents? Like, Neighbours have brought back Kylie and Jason for the final episode.
Oh, God.
Yes.
After 37 years on television, Neighbours is finally calling it quits. They've realised that their main audience is kind of 80-plus-year-old women that are widowed.
Oh, no, you can't say that because I won't lie. No. My wife watches it, and now I'm also fully invested in what's going on. I'm all like, it comes on. I'm like, Paul, what have you done? What have you done this time, Paul?
Ryan, it's been on the air for 37 years, and you're only now fully invested as they.
That's what I find brilliant. His neighbours for me used to be bunking off school watching the 1 o'clock showing, or coming home from school and watching the 5 o'clock showing. That's what Neighbours was for me.
But they have just kind of gone, I see what Star Wars and Marvel and Jurassic Park are doing here. Like, such a all. Kylie, Jason, want to come back?
No, do you know what would be really blow your mind? If it turns out the last episode is a multiverse thing and Home and Away cast are in the same neighborhood and they're all just like, whose theme song do we play?
They live on a joining street.
Wait, this is my show. Oh, no, wait, it's my show. Oh, no.
Figure line, you'd buy it.
What, me or Ryan?
No, both of you, I think.
Yeah, I'd probably buy it. And then
a Kylie and Jason double pack, you'd buy it.
Okay, for just Kylie and Jason, then yeah, absolutely.
Probably. But anyway, let's get
I
off
should
of
be so lucky.
and back onto Star Wars. Right, that's a line I never thought I'd say on our podcast. But let's get off Neighbours, back onto Star Wars. What are we going to expect?
Well, before we get on that, did you see the schedule for Celebration and what some of the stuff we can expect going on there? You seen some of that?
Star Wars and Neighbours.
So, Tales of the Jedi has been announced.
Just Ryan, I'm not even listening to you. Tales of the Jedi
and sticking up your bum. I don't care about Neighbours. Jedi, Tales of the Jedi. At Celebration, they've announced that there's going to be the Tales of the Jedi, which is a brand new cartoon that Dave Filoni's headed up, and it's going to be an anthology series. So it's not one that's going to particularly follow on or anything. It's just an anthology. But I think that's going to be good for filling in the gaps between like Rebels, Rogue One, like filling all the little bits of storyline that we're missing right now. Like, where did Darth Maul go after the ship crashed in Clone Wars? Where did he end up before we saw him in Rebels? It's going to give them.
Where did that lamp from Return of the Jedi go? As John said.
Exactly. These are questions that need answering.
Yes, it's going to give us some like filler episodes, like filler cartoons, which I think are quite interesting. But Dave Filoni's written it, so I mean, it's following on from Clone Wars and everything, and Rebels, and so it should be good.
Yeah, no complaints.
And they've announced that there's going to be a Hasbro Pulse event at Celebration, but not only for Hasbro's regular line of product, but also for Galaxy's Edge and the Halcyon, the Star Cruiser Hotel. It's going to get, by the sounds of it, we might see some Black Series for that now as well. So
still haven't got the bloody Bad Batch in 3 3/4 inch.
Yeah. So yeah, because obviously we know that we got the first line of Black Series figures from Galaxy's Edge. We got like the first 4 or 5 characters. There's still from going there, there's still about 3 or 4 characters that they could make out of Galaxy's Edge, which I'm guessing they're going to do. But like the Halcyon, the whole Star Cruiser Hotel, they've got all the characters from that, like the droid and the captain, and there's some really cool characters they could make out of Black Series with that as well. So I'm excited to see that. Or they could
just cancel the Black Series altogether and just focus on a better size figure.
It's never going to happen.
I wish it would.
Other than that, we got the fan first Wednesday, haven't we, coming up, on the May the 4th, which I think you guys are itching to talk about. I know I am. I've got some ideas, and I think I know what's coming. I made a little video about it this week on my channel.
What do you think? I mean, it was clearly going to be a fan first. If they didn't do a fan first on May the 4th, that would be just a missed opportunity.
I think they're going to start out with the bad news. I think we're going to get the boxes and the packaging details first. I reckon that's how.
Do you reckon they're going to announce that?
Yeah, well, they have to do, don't they? Legends
of clarity, John. They're going. Hasbro have gone for more of a plastic-free packaging to be a bit more environmentally friendly,
right?
And so a lot of people have. I say throwing the toys out the pram, but they're mint in box collectors that would damage it. So they've thrown their issues out. People have expressed their extreme concerns about the fact that they won't have a plastic window on the packaging. So changes to the packaging after an extended period of time, but. Yeah,
so people are getting upset because a massive organisation are trying to be more environmentally friendly. Oh, damn them!
I can tell you to mates, can't you? Just literally exactly the same as Ryan.
It was basically we did a bit of like Phoenix Court type thing last week, John, and I was defending my position on why I thought it was a good thing.
So I'll tell you what, though, the problem I'm going to just before we go on to the Black Series element of this, because I think it relates to that as well, is that it was more about the way that they did it that I think offended so many people. We all knew it was coming, but there was no foreplay, there was no kind of easing. It was just a case of this is going to happen at some point in the future, and then hey, we've got all these really great products. Look, these are all the products. Here's the box. Here's a great product. Here's the box. And it was just kind of whoa, rewind a sec. Like, is that the new style of box? And it was just there was no kind of explanation as to like why it happened for that line or anything like that. And I think that if they do it on May the 4th, I think that's going to be the big talking point. Like it's almost like kind of dumping you on your birthday kind of things. You know what I mean? Why did they drop them boxes on us on May the 4th?
It used to be about the toys inside the boxes.
Oh, I know. I'm out. I don't care. Like, a box is a box. Like, none of us care about like boxes. It's the wrong audience. Like, I'm not an inbox collector. Sorry,
I don't have any.
Sorry, I just totally cut you off there. But yeah, we're going to drop in the boxes straight away at the beginning.
No, I think they'll do that just out of get the bad. They've got to do it at some point. They may as well do it and get it out of the way, and then show us a bunch of really cool new products, and you'll forget about it in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Either way, it'll get it trending. Is what they want at the end of the day. They don't care whether you're talking bad or good as long as you're talking. So it'll help it trend on Star Wars Day, won't it? Above everything else that's going on. So I reckon they'll do that first of all. But everyone online seems to be thinking they're going to go for the Return of the Jedi stuff, like the vintage and the big
retro
card art styles. But I don't think they will yet because it's far too early, isn't it? When is Return of the Jedi? It's next year, isn't it? Return of the Jedi's anniversary.
Yeah, 40th is next year.
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be cool to see some stuff now, but I don't think they're going to bother doing it over a year in advance. No. Really?
Well,
so I think
you're more likely to see Obi-Wan and Bad Batch season 2 stuff. I think you're more likely to see.
I thought Return of the Jedi would be something they would reveal at Celebration, where it would probably be met with more old school fans that'll be happy to see that kind of card art and stuff.
But yeah, the Obi-Wan series is going to be still weeks away from coming out, so they're not going to be able to show us figures from that
But
Unless
my thing was, we've already seen Obi-Wan from the trailer. We've already seen the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor. We already know he's in it. And we've been itching for a Grand Inquisitor figure anyway because of Rebels. So
yeah,
I think
it'll be trailer figures.
Yeah, he's going to be a dead cert, I think. You see the Grand Inquisitor at least. Maybe an updated Obi-Wan that might match the art style of the myth. Is it called Mythos Obi-Wan? That one the Gentle Giant did a while back.
Yeah.
Did they call it Mythos Obi-Wan?
The Wanderer type thing.
The Wanderer, yeah. I reckon we might get like a version of him maybe to tie us over.
Okay.
But I think Starkiller is going to be the big announcement because the fact that the game is getting re-released, Force Unleashed. We're in the
middle on like Switch and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Switch is getting the re-release of it, and it's coming to Xbox as well. And you can get both games combined into one, basically. And Sam Witwer did a massive press release on it the other day.
No, that's cool.
So I mean, they're making a deal out of it. So to me, I would have thought Starkiller finally giving us the Starkiller figure would have been the easy win on May the 4th to make us all happy. Really, because everyone's been clamoring for that for a long time.
But then they're going to throw it in a box with no clear window, and everyone's going to kick off because they can't see the figure.
There's a good way of seeing the figure, though.
Open the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my other guess was the Saw Gerrera for the Gaming Greats line. I know they've just announced the Rogue One version, but I think they'll do his Gaming Greats version as well with the bald head. It's such an easy one for him to do. Just shave his head and you're done. So, and it's an easy repack for him, isn't it?
I'm looking forward to seeing which helmet's being repainted next. Because as much as I like all the different repaints, and that offended Jake apparently.
Jacob's gone.
That's a conversation. But I love all the different helmet designs, but I would quite like a new mold, which would be quite nice. I would love to see a Scout Trooper. I'd love to see a Scout Trooper helmet. That'd be awesome.
A lot of people online were saying how cool it would be to get one of the Bad Batch ones, like Wrecker, or get one of the Bad Batch helmets.
But to have one of a team would
do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, possibly. But then it's like the problem is you got to think of it Hasbro terms. Other than the Mandalorian, every helmet they've picked has been one that you can repaint. And they kind of, this whole plastic crisis thing going on and all that stuff, the prices, they're going to pick something that they can realistically repaint a few times. Scout Trooper, you can do like Scout Trooper, Shadow Scout Trooper, the Geonosian Clone Troopers. You can do about 3 or 4 uses out of that. I mean, look at the Boba Fett helmet. How many? That's like 4, 5 goes now. Different ones, so it's just Stormtrooper. You've had like about 4 or 5 different versions of that. The X-Wing helmet, I tell you what, we might get Biggs' helmet. Biggs or Jack Porkins or something, maybe. We get a different, what do you call it, X-Wing helmet, I reckon, maybe.
They could just do one of the clone helmets to celebrate Attack of the Clones, and they could repaint that 1,000 times, all the different colours. Yellow,
that
green,
is true.
Blue, red. They could easily turn it from Camino to, like Camino's grey. They've got so many, I'm looking at my shelf. They've got so many different variants of clone, all wearing the same trooper, with all the same ones with the visor on, just like Boba Fett's, really. It's more or less Boba's helmet, isn't it?
Yeah, they could just repaint that 50 times.
Just a remold. That's what I mean. A bit of
remold. Stop giving them ideas.
Because I'm surprised they haven't done a clone yet.
Well, it's Attack of the Clones' 20th anniversary, so surely this is it. This is the time to do it.
Is it 20 years old?
It's 20. I know that makes me feel old. It's 20 years old, mate.
Oh, didn't like that. Nope.
Attack of the Clones came out 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's in its 20th anniversary year, isn't it?
And he still doesn't like sand.
That's insane.
Because that's what they're on about. Like, that's why we're finally getting Ayla. What's her face?
Sakura.
Ayla Sakura. She's finally getting a figure, isn't she now? The background.
Shakira.
Ayla Sakura.
When you say finally get a figure, can we just always clarify that when you say finally get a figure, you mean for the 8-inch line?
Well, yeah, I'm
I know, just 6-inch.
Just because you've got a 3-incher and I play with 6 inches, right? Just don't get upset.
I don't need to overcompensate with bigger figures, So I'll stick to tried and tested.
That is a sound clip out of context, would not be played well. Cool.
I think
so
John
what else?
John, you okay, mate?
Yeah.
It's because everything we're talking about, John has got absolutely zero idea about.
I feel so bad.
It'd be like
this is the thing.
someone coming
I
in
know.
and talking about Hull United.
You know what? I've got so many comments I want to make, but they're all negative. They're all negative. So it's pointless. Yeah. So do you know what? I sort of zoned out, unless I've totally missed something. Did we finish talking about Jurassic Park?
No.
Because I feel like we went from Jurassic Park, we were on a tangent, Neighbours, we're all of a sudden Clone Wars. And I'm like, no, I've lost it.
Welcome to the show. That's pretty much how we roll.
It is a series of misguided tangents. That's probably.
Have you got a point on Jurassic Park that you want to get back to?
No. Just that I'm really looking forward to it. The only thing I hope they haven't done is brought the two annoying children back.
I hope they have, just to look at the screen and go, "F you, John." Maybe.
But they'll be all grown up now.
That's Frozen. That's the greatest reaction to what I said. That's like the greatest reaction.
You can say things to him now, like.
Can we make it a regular segment where we just check in with John and see how he's doing? Go over to John in the other studio. Just get a pre-filled little thing every week.
It's just Frozen still. Oh, John's just disappointed. Look, John just looks disappointed at me this entire time.
John, what's your opinion on MoonKnight? Cool. What's it? What
if you think it's the greatest series ever, don't move.
He's back.
Damn it, he's back.
We were having so much fun with your frozen face there, John.
It was just I made a joke, and it was just you looked so disappointed in what I'd said, and it just stayed for the whole time. Let's freeze on that one. That's much better.
Yeah. No, I just don't want them to bring the two annoying children back. That's all it is. Yeah.
I want them to bring back Samuel Jackson with the robotic arm.
No, he said. No, I read something interesting about that the other day. That he said that they see in one interview he said that he did film his scene and his death scene, and then in another interview he said that he didn't because there was a tropical storm that had come in.
Yes, and it destroyed all the set and everything like that because they had to stop filming for like 3 days.
For his death scene. So it's like, is there some lost media out there with Mr. Arnold's death scene in it?
I would love to see that. That would, if they did that, that's the kind of thing that if they just re-released it on Blu-ray with just that deleted scene in it, I would actually go and buy it again just to be able to see that. I would love to see that because that always bugged me that we never, considering he was such a cool character, I thought it was a bit weird that we got this off-screen death for him because he was like, always so cool.
Does anyone go on?
I was going to say there's nothing confirming that it's actually his arm either, is there? Apart from the
fact that he's got his shirt on.
But it's a white shirt on a dark-skinned fella. Like, there's nothing confirming that is Arnold's actual arm. So they could easily write him back in.
There was no one else at the park, Jake.
No, not that you saw. Like, there could have been like loads of people in it. Come on, this is
just at the end of the film. We're gonna now re-edit a scene where it goes. Just on a side note, Keith from accounting's missing. Just sorry, Ash.
I just got coffee across my desk.
What is it, mate?
Digitally enhanced.
Listen, we are talking about a film franchise where the newest edition is bringing in baby raptors from like come on, anything's possible. Anything's possible.
That's not true. They've also changed Jeff Goldblum's sleeves. So he is still wearing all black, but different sleeves in this one.
You could just imagine the end of the film, Samuel Jackson just rocking up like yeah, I'm back, motherfucker.
I've had it with this fucking dinosaur in this
voice, or a cutscene like in Iron Man where it's just him stood in a room. I'm here to talk to you about the dinosaur initiative.
The Dino Avengers. Wait, what?
He just goes to He's going to Raptor like, you take my arm, motherfucker.
Oh, what was it was number 3 that had the talking raptor in the dream sequence, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Alan. And it's like, it was, Jurassic Park 3 on the plane. And he's having these little dreams. And suddenly the raptor's like, Alan.
That cinematic masterpiece that was Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, Ryan still likes it though.
It's background bump. It's my least. It's actually my least favorite, but it's.
Oh wow!
I will still put it on. I will still put it on.
Do you know what I watched last?
Can't stand the bit where she screams Eric. Go on.
You know what I watched the other night? It was on telly. Terminator 2. I haven't seen it in years. It's one
Great
of my
film.
favorite films, but I haven't actually watched it in years. And I was like, this has not aged. Like, this is incredible. But it did make me wonder one thing, right? So Terminator like does his naked boy landing, like he kind of big blue bubble, and you see him.
That is what it's known as, the naked boy landing.
Yeah. And he walks into a biker bar and does all the beep, 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 like sizes up the guys, and there's the guy in the leather jacket and the motorbike. What would have happened if he had landed somewhere like a nursing home or like, you know, an ice cream store or something like that? Because surely his mission wasn't to find someone with like a cool leather jacket and like a Harley.
Just
like,
appears in the middle of a McDonald's and then goes around going like, give me your clothes, your shoes, and I'll have fries with that. You know, like
can you imagine? Or like an ice cream vendor, like give me your hat, your apron, and your ice cream truck,
and a Mr. Whippy.
But that was what I found myself asking. I was like, it's a good, like, he's menacing, so it's a good job he landed in like a biker bar, isn't it? Like,
he landed like in the middle of a. He landed in the middle of a Broadway production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and there was like all these Oompa Loompas around.
Just in an Oompa Loompa outfit, really stretched.
Just white gloves and their orange makeup, you know.
But then on the flip
and now
side
I will blend in.
On the flip side of it, if Robert Patrick's like T-1000, like first person he comes into contact with is luckily somebody that's sort of similar size to him, but it's a police officer. Like, what if he had landed like I don't know, like a mascot at a football game or something, and like that was the clothing he took? Like, it just would have given the film a completely different tone.
Just landed at like the Warner Brothers Studios, and it's just like a giant Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, but that's it. But I just thought it was an incredible film. I just like, I forgot how good it was, and even now, like, it came on.
The first one.
I argue. I beg to differ.
See, I actually think it's a bit like an Alien and Aliens situation. I actually think they're two very different films like, even genre-wise. They feel so different now. I don't think I can say that I think one's better than the other because I think they're two different.
No.
I mean, they're both better than any of the other films in the Terminator franchise, but shockingly enough. But like, I think it's a bit like Alien and Aliens, for example. I think they're both incredible films, but they are so different that I wouldn't I would struggle to tell one's better than the other because I think it's like comparing to different things.
Alien all day long. Come on.
So I'm Aliens. No. If I had to pick, I'd pick Aliens.
No, if I'm in an actiony mood, it's Aliens. But if I'm in a horror mood, it's Alien.
See, but I never saw Alien as a horror for me. That never struck me as a horror film.
Alien never was. No, but Alien for me wasn't a horror film. It was just sci-fi. Aliens in space, that's not horror.
Alien's got a very classic haunted house feel about it, and that's what how it works is that creepy corridors and that going through air ducts and whatever. It's definitely up there in the horror genre. Definitely,
it's one to watch when like the lights off.
It's a scary film.
Yeah, if you watch it like lights off, just classic what you would do when you're like old teenage sleepover and everything when you put a film on or whatever. Like that's when it's at its best. When it's more atmospheric. It's like playing like the game Dead Space. Dead Space isn't scary in the middle of the day with all the lights on and stuff like that. But when you're playing it at night or something like that, and no one else is around and it's quiet, that's when it is. It's about like atmosphere. Alien builds a horror atmosphere. It's all about what you don't see. It's about the visuals and stuff.
There's only one scary computer game, right? And it's the year 10 version of me when I was playing Resident Evil on the PlayStation 2.
Oh, those damn dogs.
Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 2. That was the scariest game ever when you were kind of
PlayStation 1.
15. Was it PlayStation 1?
Yeah, it was.
The first three were PS1.
Oh yeah, Nemesis. That was a good one.
Fatal Frame, PlayStation 2. Fatal Frame. Japanese horror with it. All you have is a camera to arm you to kill ghosts.
You know what? Talking of horror films, right? Talking of horror films, not a lot scared me as a kid when it came to horror films. Not because I was like well-odd or anything like that, but I just didn't find things scary. Like even things like No, but
Well, you
listen, I'm on a serious.
I was scared of anything as a child.
But I'm regressing back to my year 10 kind of age, my 15-year-old. But no, but not a lot scared me. Like I remember, like my dad, bless him, like God rest his soul, he literally sat me down when I was like, I don't know, I must have been 8 or whatever. And it was just me and him in the house. We watched Nightmare on Elm Street, and he was scratching on the sofa. He served me pizza as my dinner and that kind of stuff. And it was just at that point, I was kind of like, you know what, show me anything from here on out. I'm hardened now. And it wasn't until I saw it wasn't until I saw the Japanese Grudge on DVD that I was kind of like, oh, things can kind of scare me again, like if that makes sense, because it was so different to everything I'd seen that so I'd have kind of gone round in a circle there, but I never classed Alien as a horror because it didn't scare me. It wasn't it didn't get me like that.
The first Terminator scared me.
Yeah.
Really?
It genuinely scared me in terms of the relentlessness of it. You know, and it's after you. Doesn't matter what it's got to do, it's coming for you. And that whole scene at the end at the steelworks, and there's just half the droid's body just coming towards you. It was just absolutely terrifying. It's that whole fear of getting into bed quickly because something's going to grab your leg. I just thought it was absolutely terrifying.
Weirdly, so I'm going to jump ahead a bit for you years, like filmmaking wise. One of the films that always sticks with me as a scary moment is when I first saw Signs, because I was 12 when Signs came out. Like, you know, the M. Night Shyamalan film. When Signs came out,
that was a scary film.
But the bit that got me, and to this day, still, whenever it comes on TV, the bit that still sends goosebumps.
Can I guess?
Go on then.
The birthday
party.
The
video camera.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the video camera birthday party bit. It's because of how everyday real it is, and like I think that's the bit that made it so terrifying, because it was so everyday real. Like, everything was cinematic until that bit wasn't cinematic at all. That looked like someone with the video camera. Yeah. And that's what, and it's just the fact it just comes out, and the fact is the casual, it doesn't stop, and it just, I'm getting goosebumps. Look, they're talking about it.
Yeah,
it's weird, but that is one film that, I think that was his peak.
It's also the reactions as well of the actors on stage, like how they reacted to that news clip. Like, I'm with you on that. Actually, that bit did proper freak me out. Totally ruined for me when they spoofed it in Scary Movie 15 or whatever it was. But it was that was a really scary bit. But then it's interesting because like that found footage kind of element, like that's such an overplayed and oversaturated kind of style and genre. But you think back to like the first Blair Witch Project, like that was a scary film when it came out, and there was I think what was good is it was in the days where the internet was kind of just building up, so there was like, you would hear about these things in the film and you'd look it up on the internet and you'd find the phony website that was created to support it. But oh my God, it's true, because I've just
it was such a big debate in my school whether it was real or not.
Yeah,
it was like one of those things, you know, where everyone was like, oh, like, no, because my cousin, right, works. I don't know why everyone's sending a country accent, but you know, my cousin, right, you know,
go to school.
You know, my cousin's, you know, best friend's uncle is a police officer who was investigating the case, and it's like, obviously bullshitting, but you know, when you're a kid, that's what things do, and all those discussions happen. But it was one of those things that everyone was like, it is real, and we were convinced it's real until got a bit older, and then it was like, oh wait a minute.
Yeah, but then we were the generation that believed that if you went and stood in the school toilets and said like Bloody Mary 3 times and turned around, like she'd appear and kill you. Never happened to anyone. Like everyone knew it.
Yeah, nope.
Still won't do it. Still won't do it. Still won't go there, motherfucker. Nope.
Hell no.
But no, I don't know. Like I love films. I just think that nowadays it is so, I don't know, there's just so much out there. It is oversaturated in the respect of finding something new, like that new thing. When, you know, what's gonna, like, I don't know, like I'm talking horror here, like, by the way, just, you know, I want to be scared. Like the thing that's the scariest film to this day for me, because it still affects me now, is Jaws, without a doubt. Without a doubt was Jaws, because I watched it at just the right age where I wasn't around the sea. Like I didn't live on the coast or anything like that. So it was like it was a realistic but kind of foreign aspect. And then there was this kind of element of what happens inside it. So when I did go to the beach, it was like, oh, I saw a film about this. Like, do you know what I mean? And even now, I can't go in the sea without thinking of a great big animatronic shark.
I actually remember when I was a kid, we were at a villa with a little swimming pool because it was cloudy and I couldn't see under it. It terrified me. Like, what was a shark going to do? Swim through the filtration system and then grow 3 sizes out of a pipe? But it was absolutely terrifying. And now I think back at it, it's the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, I thought there was going to be a shark in this little swimming pool. But just because I couldn't see to the other end.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, that is a very realistic fear. Everyone thought there was a shark in the swimming pool.
Yeah, but we've all had our scary moments. Ash, what about you?
Not.
You've got to have a scary film when you're young. What was one that scared you?
Shining. The Shining was mine.
Ooh.
It wasn't necessarily anything to do with him. It wasn't Jack Nicholson or anything that scared me. It was more the random appearances, like when they'd open the doors, they'd see something really obscure and then close the door again. Things like that freaked me out. Like the thing with, like, obviously as a kid, didn't understand the scene with the the big stuffy bear and things like that. I mean, there's them kind of scenes you're like, what was that? And then you've got the naked old woman turns from the really pretty woman to the naked old woman, and that whole thing coming towards the door, and nope, scary, freaked me out.
I think it's weird though, isn't it?
Scary soundtracks as well. That
it's like things like Lost Boys. Like The Lost Boys is like a culty film, but the aspect of what the film's about is quite scary. You would expect. I wouldn't show it to my kids, for example, because I'd be worried they would scare them.
Films like that, I don't even consider horror. I know that they're in the horror genre because of the vampires, but that to me isn't a horror film. That was never horror, is it? It's more like an adventure movie.
There's a big problem. There's a big problem with The Lost Boys is that it plays like an hour and a half long music video. That's all it is. It's a 90-minute music video, and it's one of those films that I probably watch it every 3 or 4 years, and then I come away from it and going, that's not as good as I remember. That's not as, every time I've watched it, I've not gone, oh, that was, because everyone goes, oh, Lost Boys. And I go, no. But the alternative to Lost Boys was Near Dark, which was a 1987 horror film that came out with Bill Paxton and Lance Henriksen, and they came out weeks apart in movie theaters. And that was really dark and really grim. And
I don't know this one.
Yeah, it's not scary as such. It's got the main villain from the first series of Heroes in it. He's the I can't remember his name now, but he is the main character in it. And it's basically about a load of vampires that drive around in a van at night, a blacked out van, because obviously they can't go out in the daylight. And it's quite terrifying in terms of how grim it is.
Is that Vasquez from Aliens in it as well?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a really good film. It's very similar to like a Bug's Life and Ant situation, where they were very similar films and they came out at about the same time.
Well, what was the other one? Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Yeah, everyone remembers one, and
Armageddon.
The others is. But for me, the point I was making about Lost Boys, like I'm kind of on the other side of it. Like I grew up watching that, and I obsessed over it. Like even to this day, it's still one of my favorite films, just because it was so much a part of my childhood. But I would never show it to my kids at the age that I saw it. If that makes sense. Like I just wouldn't. There's things in it. However, I find this hilarious whenever I tell people, because I had a copy that was recorded off the television. My mum and dad, in their infinite wisdom, thought like, there's this late night film about like rock and roll vampires. Like, my kids will enjoy this. Record. Like, that's just
on the same video as the Care Bears cartoon.
It's just 80s parenting for you. However, it got to the sex scene and they thought, no, this is mildly inappropriate. So they paused the recording and then started again at the end of the sex scene. I mean, doesn't matter the fact that they've just been eating people's heads and like ripping off limbs and stuff, but no, there's some boobs there. Like, we're going to pause this because this.
My parents used to do that. James Bond GoldenEye, I'll never forget. James Bond GoldenEye didn't have any of the scenes with Senora Talk doing the good stuff. That were all cut out.
But Lost Boys, for me, like, it was only when I got the DVD when I was probably in my 20s, and I got the DVD and I sat down and watched it, and I was like, what is this scene? Like, this
I tell you what was right years ago, and this was when I was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. At school, I had to do a project about Sherlock Holmes, and on late night TV before, obviously, because TV channels used to, as we all remember, used to close down for the night. The last film of the evening was the 1939 version of Hound of the Baskervilles, right? Black and white, right? And I thought, got to see that, and I asked my grandmother to record it for me. But what was on before it was Psycho 3. Right? And she just set the video to long play, so it recorded 6 hours worth of entertainment. And I'm watching this film, and there's a woman half naked being butchered to death in a phone box, and I'm thinking, I don't remember reading that bit in the book.
I'd love to read your school report about Sherlock.
I would love to have seen that.
And then he dresses up like his mum at the end. It was just bizarre, absolutely bizarre. But yeah, that's old-fashioned parenting for you. Nobody cared. It was great.
Do you know what? I love the fact that we're probably just baffled amongst the young listeners that are saying long play. Like that would baffle kids today, that we had a cassette that we could somehow magically make it record up to 8 hours. How did we do this?
Why?
And there was only one person in the house knew how to program the VCR, and it was normally mum. Like my mum was like,
on long play, you could get 14 episodes of Thundercats on long play.
Yeah.
Plus adverts.
It was, but it is. You know what? While we're on that subject, it is random because so much of what I'm into now as an adult, when it comes to kind of my comics and my figures and that kind of stuff, stemmed from being a kid and reading comics and watching TV shows and that. And as a kid, that was recording them on a Saturday and rewatching those episodes over and over and over and over again. Whereas we don't have that now. Like, you don't have that nowadays. Like, there's no ability for, like, with the streaming services and stuff, like my kids can't go in and kind of record their favorite episode and just watch that. Like, yeah, okay, you could look it up and stuff. But the thing is you turn on the streaming site and you're then shown all this new stuff and all the other stuff. And if you watch that, you might like this. So the rewatch value of certain things is kind of gone. Whereas back in the day, we talked about Visionaries last week before last with Simon, and I had a VHS of Visionaries, like the pilot episode Visionaries, and I watched that thing until it broke, like literally until it broke. I can't remember actually watching much more of the series. I know I did, but I couldn't tell you what happened in the series. But the pilot, I literally scene for scene. But yeah, you don't have that nowadays. So I think there is an element of, like, where are we going to be in sort of 10, 20 years time when it comes to the kind of nostalgics?
I remember being so thrilled on a birthday when I got a 4-pack of Memorex E240 cassette tapes, right, like VHS tapes, and it was just like, I could record my own stuff now. It's fantastic. And you would just record Ninja Turtles, Thundercats, Transformers, just
Here's
anything.
one for you. The little black square that you could snap off. So you couldn't record over it.
You couldn't record it. No one could,
unless you put a bit of sellotape over it.
Bit of sellotape over it.
That fixed that problem.
That was like the ultimate sign of kind of like, spaying, like spreading your legs and your scent and stuff, wasn't it? It's like, this is my video. Do not tape over this episode of Neighbours.
Now, did you actually use all the little number stickers that came in the thing? Because I always ended up. Yeah, I used them on everything but videos. I would then write in really bad handwriting Ryan's tape, which doesn't describe what's on it at all. So it could have been anything. I just Ryan's tape, and then just the stickers. Numbers, I was putting them on like the Millennium Falcon, had like a rewind sticker on the back of it, and all that. Just I can go backwards through space. Just all these, just use them on everything but that. My school planner. It would be cool to have some VHS stickers on my planner.
I blame all of my really bad fashion choices of the early 2000s on like films like Lost Boys and Hook and Labyrinth. Because
100%.
Who didn't want to dye their hair red and be Rufio at age 12?
Rufio.
I 100%.
He's the reason I 100% owned a leather jacket and dyed my hair red. I've had my hair spiked like this since 1996, right? And I've never changed my hairstyle. You look at any photo of me from any era, and I've just got this haircut spiked because of films like Lost Boys ruined me as a child.
Yeah, No, I was the same though. I wanted a leather jacket because of Lost Boys. Like I wanted the leather jacket, and I'd wear that out. And it was back in the day when it was kind of like you either dressed like everyone or you were a bit of a, an outcast. And I'd rock up with like a leather jacket on, or whatever, and no one would talk to me. But I looked like one of the Lost Boys, so I didn't give a shit. I was like,
I don't think it was the leather jacket. I think nobody would.
Ouch. But true. So let's talk toys while we're on a vintage thing. Let's talk toys. What you got behind you, John? Fill us in.
So what we got here? If we go to where am I pointing? This shelf here is Thundercats. Further down is Thundercats.
Over here is Thundercats. This is also Thundercats.
This is Chiz.
Then there's 5 shelves of Masters of the Universe, all vintage. So then we go over to this shelf over here. That is the complete run of James Bond Jr. toys, the short-lived line from 1991.
Wow,
James Bond Jr.
Yeah. The second shelf down is a complete run of Bucky O'Hare from 1992.
Captain.
And then the next 2 shelves are all Captain Planet. Right?
How does that take up 2 shelves?
Because
there's a lot of variants.
There's so many variants.
Was there?
And then the next 4 shelves are all Batman the Animated Series from the Kenner line from between 92 and 95.
The definitive voice of Batman and the Joker, let's be honest.
Yeah. So, and then I'll just see if I can have a little... and then all of that there is Ninja.
Heroes in a half shell. And he
He's
froze.
frozen.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, no, there's Ghostbusters there as well. I spot Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Extreme Ghostbusters, isn't it?
Oh, I miss Ghostbusters.
Everything.
He's got Transformers as well now. Is his latest
froze
thing.
On Turtles.
Ninja, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Ninja Turtles or
sorry.
Hero Turtles?
Well, they're a mixture of both. So, yeah, there we go.
And Ghostbusters.
But yeah,
did you hear as well?
There's still. Go on.
No, I was going to say, did you hear that the Afterlife, Ghostbusters Afterlife, has officially been given a green light for a sequel?
Oh, that's a shame.
Just I saw Ghostbusters there on your shelf, and they've officially carried on with that franchise. They're going to do another sequel to the sequel.
I wish they wouldn't. I wish they didn't on a high and leave it.
Did it end
I don't know
up
where
high?
they're going to go with it.
Oh, I like the film. For me, it was a very nostalgic movie. I went to the cinema with my dad to see it, and I remember seeing the film as a kid with my dad, and it was more nostalgic and comfy and warm and nice to watch. You know what I mean? It was like an easy-going thing. More nostalgic.
Did you not like it, John?
I thought it was a mess. I thought it was a real mess. I genuinely thought it was. There was lots of what looks like studio interference going on. There were nods to the past that were sort of more of an insult to the past on certain things, and yeah, it just felt like it didn't even Ghostbusters 2 from '89, and even the 2016 Ghostbusters, which I will still defend. Ghostbusters Afterlife gave me no tingling feeling, no sense of. Nothing in it made me smile. Nothing in it made me smile. Whereas the previous 3 entries, the previous 3 entries,
I'm the opposite.
No, I had a mild, raised cheek when I heard the Ghostbusters car for the first time. When he starts it up and comes out of the, but it was all just a mess. It was just a real mess, and. I don't know how I felt about the Egon ghosts. Yeah, I'll watch it again. I'll very much. I'm not going to say it's a dreadful film, and I want nothing to do with it. It just didn't do it for me. It just didn't work for me at all.
Oh, see, I liked it. I really liked it.
And it wasn't me who said that time, John. John has a habit of like whenever I say, "Oh, you like everything," and I don't like everything.
But you do.
I really liked it. I really liked it. I didn't go and see it at the cinema. I was supposed to, and I didn't because it was in that weird kind of the cinemas have just reopened and should we go back, shouldn't we go back sort of thing. So I waited and I streamed it. But
See, I saw
really
it.
enjoyed it.
I saw it at the cinema, and I saw it with the extended screens thing, that 360-degree cinema thing, or if it's called 240 cinema or something. The one with the big wraparound screen, and it actually works on that film really well.
All right.
Like the scene at the end where the trapping goes are in the traps and stuff. You could look left and right in the cinema and see different parts of the field, and like they were all on the big screen there, but there was other things going on here around you. It was awesome to watch.
That's awesome.
I've never seen that.
Like it was like made for that style of cinema, so it was really good. You know, like when 3D first came out and Avatar was made for that, and then every film since has just been a dodgy copy, just
Titanic.
Yeah,
they're re-releasing Avatar.
Well, they'd have to do. The new film's coming out, and the other one came out 10 years ago. No one remembers it. Pocahontas in space.
That's got to be the longest sequel ever.
It's Fern Gully. It's Fern Gully in space, isn't it?
Fern Gully. There's one from my childhood.
That is Fern Gully. That's all. James Cameron went, I've just found this little kid's VHS tape of this film called Fern Gully. Let's make this into a multi-billion-pound blockbuster.
Didn't Tim Curry voice the pollution monster in that?
I think so. Yeah, I can't remember.
I mean, he voiced everyone and everything. I love Fern Gully.
That's mad. I can't believe it's been that long. 10 years.
10 years since Avatar 1, God, yes. But it's been longer than that now, and it's 10th anniversary a while back.
Yeah, it was 2010 Avatar, I'm sure it was. 2009, 2010?
2009 Avatar, yeah. 2009. Yeah. So it's over 10 years old now.
Sweet Jesus.
That's insane. That's like the longest kind of wait for a sequel.
I know. So we need to. Did Sigourney Weaver make it through the magic tree? I need to find out.
That sounds like the end of a Magic Roundabout episode. Like that's just gone on like on a really weird tangent. Did Sigourney Weaver get through the magic tree? Again, I don't want to go for like Beatles, but
will Stephen Lang return to destroy the new secondary tree that's now underwater or something? I'm well.
This one. Oh yeah, because the new one's all set underwater, isn't it? Or it's going to be about sea monkeys or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but the fact that the film franchise isn't going to end for another 4 films and it's not going to stop until like 2020 something. It's like James Cameron, seriously.
It's just
he's always announcing like huge amounts of films that he's working on, but I swear it's just like
all the names. He announced all the names. Hang on, let me get them. He announced
Edge of Water, Surfing Fire, Crying on Leaves, and working.
You're not far wrong with the water one.
Was that? Okay.
You're not far wrong with that. Mate.
Is it like the Way of Water or something? Or
so the sequels are officially called. Where's the little list here?
Are they called Avatar: The Last Airbender?
The new film that's coming out is going to be called The Way of Water. The first sequel will take us under the seas of Pandora. Then we've got The Seed Bearer. Ooh.
That's the pornographic, like.
Yeah.
That's not an official sequel, guys.
Is that actually is that Arsatar rather than Avatar?
And then you've got this. You stop it. I can't say it now for laughing. The Seed Bearer does sound really weird, doesn't it? Why have you done this to me? I can't even find the rest of the names now. But yeah, they've basically named all 5 sequels that are coming out. There's 5, which is just why.
Avatar 3, The Rod Rider.
So by the time the 6th film comes out, we'll all be dead, probably.
Yeah. James Cameron will.
All right.
Wow.
Robo Cameron will be like
our kids generation will be taking their kids to see the final sequel of Avatar. This started when your great grandparents were alive.
It's the only film still made in 3D.
I'll be honest. I'll say it officially on record now, because like when Avatar came out, I was like fully into it. I thought it was incredible, and I was like, "This is brilliant. I can't wait." I'm really over it now. I really couldn't care about these sequels. Like, I'll probably go and see them, but I'm kind of like, that was 10 years ago, mate. Like, I just...
I'm sort of hoping if I rewatch the first one in the cinema on the big screen, that it will... Because I never saw it in the cinema. And so and I really enjoyed it when I saw it on Blu-ray for the first time. So I got it as soon as it came out because I missed it in cinema. So I got it on Blu-ray release and I was like, that was really good. That was really awesome. But now I'm kind of hoping that, and now, like you said, I agree. I don't really care. But now I'm really hoping that if they're really releasing the first one, I'm going to go see it in the cinema and it will make me go like, yeah, Avatar.
I see it very much as a.
Have you got the other names?
No, but I have just found that. So Avatar 2 obviously is this year. Then you've got 2024, 2026, and 2028 is when that film franchise will end.
That's mad. I just see Avatar very much as like looking back through rose-tinted glasses at like an ex-girlfriend from 10 years ago. And you think that it was really incredible, but you know what? If you actually met up with her now and went out on a date, you'd be like, yeah, it wasn't. It was okay for the time. But let's not romanticize it.
It was just a fling. It was a fling.
Something it wasn't. You know,
I saw Avatar on a plane on a screen the size of a Jacob's cracker. I was like, it's not made for this, is it? It's not made for this.
James Cameron.
In one day.
James Cameron did not make that film for that format.
No.
If he could hear you, he would be massively offended.
There's me thinking I sound odd, going, oh, I saw it on the normal TV on Blu-ray for the first time. What? How about I then said John watching it on a Pokemon card?
Oh dear.
I don't feel as bad now. I'm just dreading what franchise they're going to try and do something live action with next. I mean, talking about all your like figure lines, you know, that you got in the background, like because
Thundercats and He-Man need something.
Thundercats is being done. Thundercats is being done by the same guy who directed
Fast and the Furious.
No, he directed
Avatar,
The Guests, and You're Next, and Godzilla King of the Monsters, or Godzilla vs Kong. So it's going to be done by him. Adam Wingard, is it?
That could be good then.
So that's a live action Thundercats. I'm really I don't get overly excited by new toys, but I like it when, like Super 7, for example, release a figure that wasn't made in the original line. I get quite excited by that. So Super 7 are doing a mirror image Lion-O from the episode All That Glitters, I think it was called. So it's Lion-O, but all in red.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all like red and yellow and like almost like fiery colours.
No, he's just wearing red.
Oh.
But well done for getting excited.
There was a Lion-O that they did where it's all like in like fiery colours. Like all his hair was like standing up and everything, and it had like deeply yellow eyes.
That's just Lion-O, wasn't it?
No, he was in blue, and I know which one I mean. You go on mute. It's not even your...
I just don't understand why it's not been done. Like when they've kind of, you think about all the films like Turtles and Transformers and stuff where they've gone back and they've attacked these kind of 80s properties and made like up-to-date versions of the film. Why is He-Man and Thundercats never been done?
Thundercats, I can tell you why, because you saw what they did to the actual film Cats, right? You saw that.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, but please tell me
them
that
using
you wouldn't
that
have...
style.
And you'll know they'll make James Corden's a snarf.
James Corden. You know, that would actually work.
No, don't encourage it. Don't encourage him to exist on TVs any more than he has to be. He's already on enough.
No, you just
they totally messed up the Masters of the Universe film in the 80s because they didn't bring back. Yes, they did though, Jay.
It was incredible.
But they massively did because it came out 5 years after the toy line or the film, the TV series had started. It had none of the original characters in it, you know, and it was like
the Skeletor.
All right, I mean, all your background lot, you know. So it had totally loads of missed opportunities. It was a bad film, and it was
it
was Dolph Lundgren as well.
It was rubbish, and it had nothing to do with anything that was He-Man.
He had so many speech coaches on that film as well. It's in the credits. It's hilarious.
But there was something incredible about it. Like I remember watching it. Oh, look, this is a live action He-Man film, and it's the guy from Rocky. Like, this is going to be incredible. Like, and I remember starting to watch it and being like, this is nothing like He-Man. Who is this guy?
I just love the absolute confidence that it even ends with the Skeletor's face coming, going, you know, see you soon, or I'll be back, or something like that. It's like, no, you won't.
But
What didn't help is that it was towards the end of Canon's life as a production company as well. So they made that, and then they made Superman 4: Quest for Peace. And you go, no, I'm done with Canon. Thank you. You know.
Oh, I still think it was a much better film than like the Super Mario Brothers film. Let's be honest. Like, you know, there are certain films where they made it completely different.
Don't you just my Super Mario Brothers movie?
Yeah, me and my sister watched that. Like, we used to get that from the video shop all the time.
Come on, though. Like, there was
nothing to do with Super Mario whatsoever.
Nothing at all.
Just Bob Hoskins, Super Mario. So they were like, yeah, that works.
The fact that they made it canon in the film that his name was actually Mario, and Luigi Mario. That to this day is just my favorite thing on the planet. His name is Mario.
Yeah.
But as someone who's half Italian, I found the film a little bit racist. So you know, it was pissing over my heritage, which I wasn't happy.
John, that's not what they did.
As someone that is half dinosaur as well, I also found it a little bit. No, but but the point I'm making is that the Mario film, absolutely nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do. It'd be like calling King Kong a Donkey Kong film. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was literally no comparisons. But at least with He-Man, it kind of had the bones of what He-Man was. It had He-Man, it had Eternia, had this other dimension, had these bad guys. And I can't even remember the name of the guy, but the bad guy with the swords, like, come on. And then they made Blade. Oh, original. But then they made toys of these figures, and I remember having the toys of the movie figures, and that gold Skeletor, like, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was devastated that there was never a follow-up.
I think it would have worked better had they kept it on, Eternia. Had they not brought it to Earth, that would have worked better, possibly. But it's 35 years old now.
Yeah, because it was Courtney Cox and Tom Paris from Star Trek was the two human characters.
Yeah.
But if they'd have kept it on Eternia, you know that Eternia would have looked like what Mortal Kombat ended up looking like, right? You know, it would have been that style.
Yeah. Red sand everywhere, dust, lots of dust,
loads of statues with that weird noise of for no reason in the background. We all need that.
Did you see the
Space.
The updated version of Mortal Kombat that came out recently?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, great fun.
What did you think in comparison to the original Mortal Kombat?
What?
Oh, just in a heartbeat.
What?
No, honestly, it's a genuine question. He's frozen again.
I don't get what he was like. What was he in a heartbeat about? I don't get it.
Left us on a cliffhanger. No, John's died. He's died.
He killed him off, is that?
Yeah. It does look like an in memoriam picture of John, doesn't it? It does look like John maybe, and then the year should be coming up underneath him now.
The thing is, Mortal Kombat, for me, the new one was good, but for me, I'm a nostalgia guy, so I mean, I
love the original
old school. So yeah, I love the original Mortal Kombat, not the sequel, but the original Mortal Kombat movie was my film growing up. I loved it. Same with Street Fighter. That was atrocious now, but I look back and I loved that film as a kid.
Yeah.
But the new ones are all right. I wouldn't say it's the best thing ever.
No, I enjoyed the new one, but it didn't hit as hard for me as the original ones.
No, not at all.
I just thought it was really fun. I'll tell you what's the best though is the animated film they did, Scorpion's Revenge.
Yes,
that was savage and brilliant. That is actually my favorite Mortal Kombat film.
There's a sequel to that now. Have you not seen the sequel?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I have got it, but I haven't got around to watching it because my watch pile is ever growing. But yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for anything animated. Night of the Animated Dead, or is one they've done as well. Yeah, that's really good fun. Really good fun.
Wicked.
I didn't like it that much, to be honest with you. I didn't think it was that good. I thought it was quite poorly done.
What, the new one?
He's talking about the Night of the Animated Dead.
I don't know what he's talking about anymore.
I think he's talking about Night of the Animated Dead because John bought that on Blu-ray recently. I'm filling in stuff for John because he's frozen, and now I'm narrating what John's done in his life recently. I believe John is referring to this film.
There?
Yeah, we're here.
We're here. We're just chatting away.
I'm just telling them that you'd bought Night of the Animated Dead recently, and I think you're referring to the fact you watched that and didn't enjoy it. Oh God, no!
Oh dear, oh dear. Where is he?
It's just going to appear in one of our backgrounds. So I can't do this anymore, guys.
Come into one of our rooms.
Yeah, it's just going to come up. There he is.
What didn't you like, John?
I was just going to say, you've all frozen again. This is insane.
No, we're fine.
We're
it's
okay.
you. It's not us. It's you.
Can you hear us?
He's gone again.
And that was John.
Thanks for coming to the show, John. John will be joining us in the next 3 minutes.
I want there to be a segment on every episode. We need like an agony aunt corner, and John just answers questions from the viewers in the most savage way possible.
Yeah.
I like Thundercats. John, what do you think? It was shit.
The thing is, so me and John go to the cinema together quite a lot, and there's sort of a rule: we say nothing when we get out of the screen. We go outside. John lights a cigarette, and then he's like, "So," and he would list. He's got a great film reviewer sort of mind, but like it is amazing some of the things they pick up on. But yeah, Jake's got in the car. He lives not far from John. Actually, he's probably going to drive to John's, like just extension cable for the internet from his house.
Do I know something that'll make them two cry in a minute?
Go on then.
Producer Mattel Studios and Netflix have revealed that Kyle Adams has secured the role as Prince Adam in the upcoming live-action He-Man and the Masters of the Universe on Netflix.
Brilliant!
It's coming. It's coming.
I love that. None of them are here.
Yeah, Kyle Allen was the guy from West Side Story. The film version. He was also in.
I can see that. As well. Is he going to play He-Man or is he going to play Prince Adam?
Prince Adam. He's Prince Adam.
Right. Because he'd have to bulk up a lot.
I wonder how they're going to do that then. That'll be interesting how they do it. Have two actors playing one role. That'll be interesting.
I've just run to John's house and he's having. I didn't really. I think he has that. I think he has that internet issue though.
We were just saying.
I heard about Prince Adam. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mattel Studios and Netflix have revealed that Kyle Allen has secured the role as Prince Adam in the upcoming live-action He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. That's all over the internet tonight. So it is coming. A live-action one is coming.
It's about time. Let's be honest. There's all these properties that they haven't touched that they should be like just churning out because the consumer's the right age. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, you got the children of the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. All of these things need to be coming back, and I think that they're.
So I was saying, it also says that Netflix and Mattel have also extended their licensing agreement to each other, so there'll be more Mattel products having movies made on Netflix or TV programs. So it's
a natural move, though. It's a natural move when you think
live
of
action,
you think of a like the big kind of machine that is Hasbro and how they're tied in with Disney now, because obviously Star Wars, Marvel, like the other toy companies and stuff need to make these arrangements and need to make these relationships with places like Netflix and stuff in order to kind of keep up and keep relevant. So I'm not surprised.
Ooh, I think John's back.
I think John is back.
I got a great little boot sale purchase today.
Go on.
£2. Talk about nostalgia and retro. You know when you see something from your childhood and you're like, I want that, and then you find out, and when they ask you, tell you how much it's worth. But
Thunderbirds.
I got an entire box of Thunderbirds trading cards, and most of the packets aren't even open yet.
What?
Wow.
How much you pay for that? £2.
£2.
Wow. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I hated Thunderbirds. I hated it. I could not.
John,
get
let's log off.
it.
I'm done. You're done. We don't need to listen to this. Come on.
Thunderbirds and log off. He said he just got back here. But Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet. I think he's frozen again.
He's frozen with disgust because me and John are both big Jerry Anderson fans. So,
but Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet could never
and
get behind
Stingray.
it.
Stingray has one of the best theme songs of all time.
Stingray.
Stop just saying names like that. That's not how every theme went.
It is. That is how every theme for those shows
No,
went.
Stingray was that brilliant drum thing. It was like dun 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 dun. Get ready for action.
But it still went Stingray, Stingray, Stingray.
Yeah, but not like Jake was saying it as if it was like an old time.
I thought I got it quite good.
You were doing it like it was like an old timey captain standing on the edge of a cliff going Stingray. And his merry men.
These are like, let's go and solve a murder. I just couldn't find it.
I absolutely loved it as a kid. Like
let's go.
I still love it. And now I have a huge appreciation for miniature work. But yeah, it was just more a case of like, when you just think the last time I saw like these was genuinely on a counter as a kid, like going, Mum, can I get some Thunderbirds cards? So to see just casually in a boot sale, just a whole box like this, just awesome. I've just got a message from John. He's out. He said his bandwidth is messing about. He just can't get it to work. So we have lost John. I've got John here on the Geek Vision on a secondary line. So just get him on a video chat and just have him on the...
I like the fact that no matter what the subject is, you can have a fucking moan about it. I love it. John was in Star Wars.
That's
John. John's got super critical. And I feel bad because we never got around to talking about a lot of the stuff he actually really loves. We'll have to have him back on and actually cover the ones he actually does.
I like the fact we had a guest on that didn't speak. I love they just sat there in the background reading books and stuff.
But it's just he's a friend of mine and Ryan's.
The thing is, he doesn't really get anything new stuff. Like it is all about John is fully about retro. Like he has got he had a full Power Ranger collection. He's just got into Transformers, like the original ones. His Doctor Who collection though is just, and Doctor Who knowledge is absolutely insane. Like you joke about my Star Wars knowledge, John has got like an encyclopedic episode by episode knowledge. I'm talking about from the very first episode. Probably less about modern stuff, but I think he still picks them up. But it's impressive. And then Doctor Who's one of those things. Obviously now the new conversation everyone's having is who's going to be the next Doctor. And I swear to God, every day I've seen a different actor supposedly rumored to be the next Doctor. But like, the idea though that someone put that James Corden could be the next Doctor, and I was like, please don't do that to TV and to innocent people. Stop James Corden now.
He's left the Late Late Show though.
I know, and I really hope that's not a sign.
In all fairness, like him or hate him, he is hot money at the moment, and whatever people put him in is in the media. It's like I could see it happening, and I'm not a big Doctor Who fan, so I don't know whether that's a good or bad thing. But
the thing is, he played a companion in it. He actually played a character in it a couple of seasons ago with Matt Smith's one.
Bucky's favorite is still David Tennant right now to return.
And really?
Because of obviously they're bringing back the old writers. Well, I forgot his name. The guy
Russell T Davies.
Yes, he's coming back, and obviously Russell T Davies and David Tennant got on really well, and they made a lot of really good stories in that version of Doctor Who. And he's the only Doctor to cry before changing and say that he didn't want to go. His Doctor didn't want to transform and change. And
that was the mid-level emotional one he did. He did 3 levels. He did a non-emotional one, a mid-level emotional one, then he did a really emotional one. They're all available online to watch on YouTube. I'm also a bit of a Doctor Who nerd. But yeah, and that was it. And I actually got all choked up when I first saw that. Yeah, I don't want to go. And like, I don't want you to go either, Dave.
It's the same that he's the odds-on favourite, but the other random one that has been propping up recently is Jack Whitehall is in the running apparently, or is at least in the bookies running.
He's been doing quite a bit of acting recently, hasn't he?
You see him in Jungle Cruise. I was really, really worried about him in Jungle Cruise because I found out he got cast as the brother character in it, and that he was going to be gay. And I was really worried that it was going to be a bit like what James Corden did in a recent film, which he tried to play this over stereotypically flamboyant gay character. It was actually quite insulting. And so I was a little bit worried about Jack Whitehall, but I have to say, actually, all full credit to him and Disney. The way they did his character and the way he acted, and it was actually really, really good. It was a really positive LGBTQ plus sort of representation. Because it's something I get quite annoyed about when I watch some things, because obviously being bisexual is not something that's really represented. People have started representing gay, but bisexuality and stuff like that is not as seen, but it's sort of getting there. And I just I hate the idea that every time it's like we have a gay person in it, it's like it has to be flamboyant because not all gay people are flamboyant. It's like making every straight character have the same personality traits. They just seem to always do that right in and put these and people really ham it up, and it's just like
yeah.
But yeah, so I was really good at that. So I could see him. I could see him as Doctor.
He has got some acting flexibility.
Chops. He's got acting chops.
And I think it's one of them ones that, let's be honest, whenever a new Doctor's announced, everyone kicks off and says that, oh no, they're not going to do a very good Doctor. I'm pretty sure it was the same with David Tennant when he was first announced. People kicked off and said that he wouldn't do X, Y, and Z. But Matt Smith got that as well. But they all kind of out the bag at some point.
I hated Matt Smith at first, but then I grew to find him as one of my favourites over the time. But I hated him at first.
He had a hard job following David Tennant, though. Let's be honest. That was a real. How do you follow this kind of?
I really enjoyed Peter Capaldi. I didn't think he had the best stories, unfortunately, but I really liked his interpretation of the Doctor. And I've actually really enjoyed Jodie Whittaker. Again, I don't think she's had the best stories, but I actually have really enjoyed her reminds me a bit of an earlier Doctor in a kind of a sporadic sort of way she talks and stuff like that, and the way she flips things, has an idea, and then it's all very chaotic, which I quite like.
Yeah.
All I can say is if they do bring Jack Whitehall into it, if they don't do a fake out and make it his dad first before they transform it into Jack Whitehall, if they don't do the fake out with his dad, I'll be very upset.
That would be funny if they did.
It just goes to Jack Whitehall's dad in a scarf.
Did you know Rafe Spall got actually cast as the Doctor, and he ruined it for himself because he told someone, and it basically there's a great panel show called there's something about movies on Sky One. Alan Carr hosts it, and I team captain. It's a fan. Absolutely love it. It's so funny. But Rafe Spall was on it, and he was talking about the Doctor, and he was actually set to play the Doctor, and basically he blabbed about it, took a couple of pens, he got out, and they dropped him because he blabbed.
Wow.
He would have been great. He would have been great.
That's insane. It's been a bit of a random one this week. Kind of bounced between different things, but anything else? Have we missed anything?
Before we go, right? The one thing that is, I wish I was in Disneyland Paris for May the 4th this year. The offerings that are on are better than Orlando's and better than California's. Paris is going all out for May the 4th this year. All the characters are out in the parks in force, including the Bad Batch for the first time. They've got the Bad Batch as walking characters. That is amazing. Darth Vader, Boba Fett, Chewbacca, Kurstan, R2-D2 and C-3PO will be meeting guests in the Disneyland park. Additionally, there will be photo ops, a magic shot with Grogu. You can catch the show The First Order March with the First Order recruitment drive for young children. You can dress up in the parks for the first time ever. Kathy Hyperion has got Star Wars themed goodies, including blue milk. Star Traders will have exclusive merchandise only available at Disneyland Park Paris. And for the first time, special occasion visitors are also encouraged to dress up as their favorite Star Wars character, and there will be a cosplay parade at the end of the day. Finally, the sky will light up in the evening with Disney's Illuminations, which will pay special tribute to Star Wars and John Williams' music.
Wow.
Yeah, you read that and you go, I want to go to Paris now.
Wow. Just checking my flights.
I was looking forward to the streams that were going to come out of Florida and California on Star Wars Day, but I'm looking forward to Paris now. Show me Paris. They've got a Bad Batch.
I must admit, give Disneyland Paris its due. They pull the stops out. They do.
I really want to go.
Mate, once they've built their Galaxy's Edge and their Frozen Land is finished, there's going to be no reason to go to Orlando except for sunshine.
They're doing a Frozen Land.
They're doing a Frozen. Well, in Orlando, it's in Epcot, and it's the Frozen Pavilion, which used to be Norway and the Vikings, but it's now frozen. And they're basically doing that in Paris, but they're making it larger, and they're putting 2 or 3 rides in there.
So can I just have to mention that in the conversation? Sorry, Norway, you're boring, but Frozen's in.
Norway, you're out. Frozen.
Epcot used to be all about the. Epcot used to be about the countries and the World Showcase idea. And then slowly but surely, Paris became Ratatouille. Germany became Pinocchio Land and Snow White.
See, that's funny.
They added characters in bit by bit.
I went in 2001. So when I was a kid, and it was all about I had my Epcot passport still, which got stamped in every country. It was very not Disney for Disney, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's now completely Disney animation now.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Mexico is going to become Coco at some point. They're going to retheme that to Coco. So
that would be cool. That would be really cool. That's an awesome film.
I was looking at what me and my daughter enjoyed most about Florida, though, and it was mainly the Frozen attraction, Star Wars Land, and some of the like thrill rides that were there that were like she could go on. They're all in Paris, and the Galaxy's Edge is coming to Paris, which will have it's going to have an all English cast running it, so that the accents are right for Star Wars. They're not going to have any French speaking cast members apparently in there, which is either an insult. I don't know if that's an insult to them, but they're going to be all English cast members in there. So I don't know. That's kind of sealed it for me. It's like that sounds good. Like Star Wars Land's going to be all right.
Yeah.
But join the dark side.
Well, the thing is though, if you remember in Clone Wars, Hera's father had a French accent, didn't he?
Yeah, the Twi'leks all have like French accent. Hera starts off with one, and then she loses it, starts losing it in Bad Batch. And then by Rebels, obviously she doesn't have it. And then she talks to her father and it comes back a little bit, which is a really nice little touch.
So, I mean, they could put a few cast members in doing it that way, dress them up as Twi'leks, and let them have the native accent.
I got that guy today as well.
Who's that?
Who is that?
This is a skeleton from the Army of Darkness.
Oh.
Pretty cool. And I finally got a Cyclops with right arms.
Hey.
I'm only missing Daredevil and who else am I missing? Daredevil and
Grey Hulk. Oh no, you got that
no, I've got Grey Hulk now, which Jake don't bear about in the slightest. I saw one in Forbidden Planet. I even messaged Jake out of the goodness of my heart, and I was like, "Look, I'm really sorry. I can get this for you." And you're like, "Oh, I've spent my money on my figure budget this month." But I want it on the record to show that I upheld my promise and did keep my eye out and did confirm when I had one in hand for him.
You did.
So
you
just
did.
throwing it out there. But yeah, the other ones I'm missing actually is the available the X-Men cartoon style Pulse exclusives. You know, the Wolverine and Phoenix. That's the other two I'm missing because I managed to finally get the metallic Black Panther and Iron Man.
Oh really?
It's on its way. So
where from? eBay or?
I had to go to Evil Bay. I didn't have a choice because the problem is I had to get from America because it was cheaper to pay for it. I won one for like £8, but then I ended up paying like 30 odd quid because of post and packaging and import charges. But then people in the UK were trying to sell it for like 45, 50 quid. And I was like, it's actually cheaper for me to pay import charges and get it shipped from America. From the land of the free.
Speaking of which then, before we do finish up, I've got to address these Black Series and Marvel Legends that have been showing up in Game and House of Fraser and Sports Direct for like ridiculously low prices. What do you make of that?
This happened before, though, hasn't it? It's not new. We've had this with Home Bargains, had the Revan Wave back in the day, and we've had stuff drop into like TK Maxx before, that Vision box set with Kate Bishop. That dropped in a few years back.
But
this has happened before.
Yeah, but these are newer figures.
Yeah, they are. They're not very old, are they?
I've got a theory about it. I've got a little theory about it.
I've got a theory that it's a demon.
Just before you do, though, for anyone that has been under a rock, basically, you know, I can't remember the name of but there's an overruling company, isn't there, that does Game and House of Fraser and Sports Direct and stuff, and they've had a whole bunch of Hasbro products go out at ridiculously low prices, so like $10.99 a piece with 20% loyalty on top and all that kind of stuff. So people are picking up these figures for like £8-9, and some of them, like there was the Logan Hawkeye 2-pack that's marked up at $10.99 with discount. People are picking up it at $8.99 for 2 figures that came out literally in the last few years. One of which, that Hawkeye not unmasked, but the bearded head with the long hair, is one of the best head sculpts that Hasbro put out, and people paid more than $8.99 just for that head sculpt, and now you can pick up the whole 2-pack. Ridiculous. But what's your theory on it then, Ryan?
My theory is that this is a bit of a cleaning house type thing. I think it's as in like getting rid of like older stock. I do think it's a case because it's a brand where they probably have bought a huge job lot effectively of stock left over. Because I reckon, Hasbro are going to start moving. The new packaging's coming in, as much as we sort of have been joking and talking about it. But I do think with the new packaging stuff coming in, and probably, they've got a lot of new properties that they're now doing, a lot of upcoming waves, new films and stuff like that. I reckon it's just a big push. They've just got rid of a hell of a lot of stock that might have been overstocked. They might have over-ordered for lockdowns or, whatever during that whole time. So we had so much stuff coming in and things were delayed. Then there was just stuff stuck on shipping containers for ages. So did retailers even want it by the time it came out and all that stuff? So I reckon this is just a leftover stuff. I think this is more like a house clearance thing. They've sold it to the parent company for a big sort of discount. And in that way, they can then sell it on more of a discount. And that way also, it probably gets people buying stuff on their website. Like, we wouldn't maybe necessarily go to Sports Direct, but we will look on Sports Direct now because now we know there are toys on it. House of Fraser, we know it's there. People that aren't really going into HMV to buy music and stuff and to buy games are actually going in to buy figures now and stuff like that. So I think it's just a bit of I think there's been a bit of a deal done. We've got all this excess, sell it to cheap. They get new customers in the door because they're selling these really cheap. It's like a big sort of circular thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did like a weather report. I did the whole hands moving, and then we'll have some Marvel Legends coming in from a cold east front, and then a small spattering of Marvel Retro up in the north.
Gutted. I'm absolutely gutted myself because I've been trying to I've got that Hawkeye and Logan 2-pack, and it's a brilliant 2-pack. And I've been trying to get hold of a Hawkeye for a custom. There's a custom I want to do. I'm not going to say what it is for so long. And I was like, I can't justify spending £45 on a 2-pack.
I did go into Town Special to try and find it for you.
I do appreciate that. But the Logan figure, you would never sell on. Like, even before it was discounted, like, you would never sell it on for very much. It would be one that you would practically give away. And I just couldn't justify the high price for a custom that might not even work out. So when I saw them at $10.99, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I could buy a couple and still be like not out of pocket sort of thing. But yeah, they're showing up really sporadically. And I feel really pleased for anyone that gets hold of them. Like, it's always good that, new collectors get to pick stuff up at discounted prices. But hey ho.
It happens when we started though. You don't think the reason we had this conversation not long ago, didn't we? One of the things that happened when we first started collecting was that wave at B&M or Home Bargains, wherever it was, and it was a Civil War wave, wasn't it, or wherever it was. Batman animated, and I remember like this. I'm sure it was Civil War, wasn't it? Was it the Giant Man wave?
Yeah,
all appeared, and we all all Marvel Legends groups kind of came out of that, didn't they? We all kind of appeared at that point.
That was my first full wave that I'd bought. I'd got sporadically figures here and there, but that was the first time I'd known about kind of purchasing a wave as a full wave and having it as a solid unit. But that's what annoys me about this, is that this isn't waves of figures. It's just random box sets and random figures. There's no kind of contingency with any of it. It's just kind of like Ryan said, here's a bunch of stock that we've got that we're just going to give to you for whatever.
Have they agreed to get rid of all plastic products by a certain point? So they're just wanting to get rid of these old ones that might not sell at cheaper rates just to get the plastic out so that they can say that they're a plastic-free company?
Well, it's funny you say that.
Very possible.
Smiths as well have done like some really ridiculous discounts. Like, I've seen people posting figures, like new figures as well, like the Supervillains wave for like £2 a figure. And I'm like, where are these shops? Because none of the ones I go into are even discounted, let alone like to that amount. But I don't know if that does count, because the MODOK box is a plastic-free packaging. Like, it's a closed window box, and they were reducing that down to like 12 quid. So
these new, just to be going on that as well, because we're about that, but there's still the plastic insert tray that he sits in.
Okay.
So basically, if these the new ones that have come out for like the Star Wars retro ones that I opened recently with Ahsoka, it's a cardboard inlay in there. There's no plastic even in the inside of the packaging. There's nothing. Even the ties that hold it are in are made of like rope. So there's nothing in there that's made of plastic. So that's where they're going with it. So I'm really interested to see what the inlays are like in these new boxes.
It's much as people are complaining about it, and people are complaining about it. Let's not pretend they're not. I am pleased that we're kind of collectors at this time, because 5-10 years from now, they'll all be like that, and you'll be able to look back and kind of go, do you remember when they decided to get rid of? It's like smoking in nightclubs. Do you know what I mean? Like, people look back and go, do you remember when do you remember what it's like to smoke in a nightclub? Like, Whereas now it's just not a thing. So
I remember one of my first nights out, I wore my lucky shirt and I did all right on that night. And then the next morning I woke up and I was gutted because I had fag burns in my shirt all over. And I was just like, it's my favorite shirt. And I was really anti-smoking. That was before I actually smoked. So I was like, God, it's so annoying. And then when I quit, I was like, it won't be the same. No one's going to go to clubs or bars anymore. And no one's going to go in there.
I worked in a nightclub industry when the smoking ban came in, and there were full companies that were producing things that kind of gave out a smell of a nightclub to mask the smell of all the rubbish in the carpets and stuff. Like, businesses came out of this, like really bizarre businesses as well. But so many people, the big buzz of it all was that the nightclub industry is going to die because you're taking this away. The nightclub industry is going to die because that's what it is. It's going out and drinking and smoking, and you know how quickly that was forgotten. And I think that this is very similar, that it's such a big talked about thing at the moment, but give it a year, 2 years, 3 years, and it'll be such a norm that people will like look back and be like, do you remember when we used to get plastic windows on the figure? Like, I can't wait to have those conversations in however many years. Like, oh, do you remember when people used to buy figures and just hang them up in the box because you could still see them? Do you remember the in-box collector? The what? The people that collected them to just look at them in boxes. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting one. And I'm just glad that I'm kind of in the community and that at the time so that I can see that transition. But yeah, I think that's about it for this week. It's been a really random one this week. It's been all over the place, to be honest. It's like our guest isn't even with us anymore. It's just done one.
I guess just did one.
No, in all fairness, like we know John from a long time ago. So if any guest was going to be like that, it was going to be John. But
I have to get him back on talk some proper retro, because it's like I said, we didn't even get a chance to talk about all of his proper retro toys at the end. No, that's it. His camera started freezing up. But obviously, if you are watching still, then please do like, share, subscribe, and all of those things. If you listen on podcasts, then download and all the things that come with podcasting. Check the description. Check the guys' descriptions below. I'm going to throw John's details in there as well, so you can go check out his Instagram and his scripts and scratches. He does have a good Instagram going on with the different 80s music and stuff. It's a good one to watch. It's a great podcast actually as well.
It's an interesting podcast if that's what you're into. But yeah, it is a really good podcast as well. But yeah, I 1 week closer to the 1 year celebration, and I can actually confirm that conversations have been had now about what we're going to do for our 1 year, and the wheels are in motion, and
we've even written things down. That's how serious it is, guys.
It's actually okay. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the 1 year. We'll see what we actually get to. But yeah, it's been a random one. But I'm looking forward to next week, because next week will be all about Doctor Strange. Let's be honest. We got Doctor Strange. We would have all seen that. So we're going to talk about that. We've got the finale of MoonKnight. So we're all going to want to talk about that. And we would have had Star Wars Day by then as well, wouldn't we?
There it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And let's not forget what else is launching on May the 4th. Let's not forget what else is supposedly launching on May the 4th. We're going to find out about Jedi Fallen Order 2. We're going to find out more information.
Oh, yes.
There's a load of live streams. There's a load of live streams happening on Wednesday. Lots of live streams. We've got Hasbro's. We've got Star Wars as their own live stream, which they're announcing loads of things. And there's that new mobile game, Jedi Battle Arena or something. That weird cartoony looking thing. That everyone's speculating that May 4th it'll appear on your phone. Everyone's saying that if you're like a member, you can sign up on the website now to be notified. I reckon we're going to wake up on May the 4th to an announcement on his phone saying it's ready to download.
That'd be
what a day to launch it. May the 4th will be an amazing day to launch it.
It's got to be done. So next week's show is definitely going to be a big one. I don't think we'll get any guests in next week because we are going to have so much to talk about. We are not going to have time to move. So yeah. So until then, obviously, thank you very much for watching. It's been an interesting one. This week, but I've enjoyed it. Hope you guys do. Like, subscribe, share, download, check the description, follow the guys. Until
Did you want us to jump in then? You went quiet for a bit. Were we meant to jump in and be like, oh, yeah.
I was there.
No, we're not getting away with this. I didn't interrupt at the beginning. I didn't really interrupt in the middle. So I'm going to interrupt at the end. It's not a show if I don't interrupt.
Ryan, what do you want to say? Come on. Ryan's final thoughts.
At Nerd Base, if you're in Battlesbridge, there is actually the weekend. There's going to be people from Star Wars there that you can go and meet, including the actor who played Nien Nunb.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There's some relevant stuff news for you.
Are you going up?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go there. So if you want to come and meet Ryan Speaks Geek, then I'm going.
You're going to be outside the shop with a little printout.
Yeah,
it's me.
Like at an airport. With just that little crappy piece of paper with my name on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to do that. One of the first shows I went to, I had at SuperSorrell written across the shirt. At SuperSorrell as well, which is just the most atrocious thing ever, on a black shirt with white writing. Like, it couldn't be any more obnoxious. It was the biggest writing ever. Like I'm that guy.
Oh, I'm going to put my own logo on a t-shirt and start going to these things. I think I see a lot of other people there. I'm like, sorry, I might as well start doing it.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother with t-shirts with my name on it. I'm just going to pay for an entourage to follow me around. I'm only joking. Joking. I got recognised at MCM one year. I'm just going to say that somebody did recognise me from my Instagram account, and that was enough for me. I was just like, oh, that's really cool. They recognised me because of some of my custom work that I'd done years.
I had that at the Fleece the other night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I only got like 100 odd views, and it was really weird because like
a local pub, someone came up to you.
Yeah, and they said you were the guy who broke into my house last night. And I was like, well, it's just really nice to be recognised. I just really appreciate it. I'm just a big fan. Thank you for watching the security footage. Like, share, subscribe. Don't tell the police. And just thank you.
Can I get a quick selfie for Insta?
Yeah, exactly. I'll sign this mugshot.
It's someone really
genuinely, actually, yeah. So, because what happened was, I was at the pub for a friend's leaving do, and there's a guy.
It wasn't someone you went with.
No. So I met this guy at the pub that sort of through friends and everything, like just before lockdown, and we always said we were going to meet up at some point when lockdown finished. And everything. He was a nice guy. Anyway, he was in the pub. I hadn't seen him this whole time, and he messaged me being like, "Are you in the Fleece right now?" I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Because my friend's down from Newcastle, and he's just asked me if that's the guy from YouTube." He said, "But I think it's you, and I don't know." He hadn't seen anything I'd done, which I was like, "Well, clearly you don't look at my profile, son of a." But his friend had seen it, so I was like, "Oh." So I went over and spoke to him for a bit. Just probably just bitterly disappointed him. Probably.
That's pretty cool. That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
Random.
On that note, we will call it quits because we've done a long one for a really random show. We've done a long one. So we do appreciate you guys listening and sticking with us. Like, share, subscribe, all those things. Give the guys a follow. If you like watching us, stick with YouTube. If you like listening to us, get on the podcasts. And until next week, keep it geek.
The Geek Week in Review.